Slurp it up, baby.
Yeah, man, that's me and my coffee, man. Mike,
I knew what it was.
Mike, you still don't have vid, Mike. You're vidless.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Good morning. If you can hear us, Gaetano, keep the Java flowing. All right, good. Gaetano can hear us then. Always worried. So, oh man. Morning's tougher to prep for than night, man. Let me tell you. Like, I don't know how you do it every morning.
Well, especially when you have to be so handsome. You know? Like you.
Oh, dude.
Look at Bill with that fresh haircut, too.
Yes.
Oh, feeling good.
Oh, I know. A fresh haircut always makes somebody feel good.
Yes. Thanks, Gaetano. Thanks for being on this morning, man. I know this is like a curveball this is a true curveball for, all right, so this ad for any of you Reaper Con people, this is over a year old. I need a new one. I got to bust Michael Collins to get me a new ad here. This one Mark put together. So yeah. Yes, exactly. A huge curveball there. I mean, my gosh. Huge curveball. But we made it. Looks like we made it. Now I'm singing Barry Manilow in the morning. That's really scary.
Well, it's better than Mandy. What's your favorite Manilow song?
Wow. Weekend in New England.
That's gonna be warm and fuzzy inside.
Yes.
Can you imagine just going down the coast, going down the shore right there in the sidecar, you know, not the sidecar, but in the passenger seat of the convertible with Manilow at the wheel, just laying your head on his shoulder and enjoying the breeze. Manilow. Feel the love.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, boy.
Well, it wouldn't be a Mike Disney stream without a weird turn.
Come on, that's a cool turn, man. Manilow in the morning.
Manilow in the morning. It even sounds good saying.
Yeah, it does. Oh. Oddball. Yeah, exactly. Excel, man.
How is that an oddball move? Jealous that you didn't think of it. That's all.
See, it's 9 a.m. here, but it's 8 a.m. Eastern for ReaperCon. So we're an even hour earlier for this. So it's gonna be this will be cool. We'll have fun.
Topic we're going to talk about first, right? So you vote on it. So
Is that you, Bill?
Who is that talking?
I think Bill's getting sound feedback.
No, I don't have anything on.
Somebody has someone on.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he had something on in the background in his PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have it off in a second.
No
I don't
problem.
know why it's doing it.
It's called sun setting stuff up. It sounds like you got something
Here we go. I got it.
in the background there.
A bit better than something questionable, huh, Bill?
Can you imagine?
Well, could you a little bit of ASMR to start off our show?
Oh my gosh!
Let me tell you,
30 days.
Bill, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was my visit at the dentist. Oh, we're horrible.
And Lord Kazama gets a 30-day ban.
Oh, nobody would turn us in. Who would turn us in?
That's right. That's true.
Nobody would turn us in. They kidding me? The ratings would go up. Like, whoa, what's going on now with D&D? Holy cow, I'm in. Oh, jeez. Look at that terrain. Beautiful stuff.
We're cranking Bill got the lowlands. We got all that out on the table. That's the swap set. That's what I'm excited about. Those bridges and all. Yeah, look at that. So he's and then Brian Sublime printed out all the King's Roads, which aren't even in this. Aren't even in this ad. So
Building easier.
I do. I do, but these actually, I just use rattle can, the base coat, everything.
Yeah.
And I highlight up.
good morning, Select.
You know, honestly, if your rattle can game is on, you can really do a lot with a rattle can before even picking up an airbrush. You know
Nice
what
and
I mean?
early here.
Yeah,
Let's
that's.
see.
I mean, just because of the volume too, it's a lot.
Yep, those things are beautiful though. Now, did you print those out on the new printer that you got from the guys?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You got it zeroed in already?
Yeah, man,
I'll say
I got some
very lucky
picks
with
up
it.
at the end of the stream, at the end of the scroller on Bill's side because I wanted to, we're going to talk mostly Reaper and stuff, but we're gonna throw in some 3D in there too. You have to. It's a reality, right? And 3D stuff can help you enhance the Reaper miniatures too. Now, it's cool.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm cleaning up a 3D printed shield to go on a brush giant.
yeah. So
How are you cleaning them up? What's your process of cleaning them up, Bill?
Well, this one, unfortunately, I printed last night. We were away, and it's got a huge under.
Yeah,
I'm trying to peel off.
I can't see what you're showing us.
Yeah, my camera's not set up for.
we'll do the best we can. Hey, Anna. Good morning.
Anna B. Meyer.
Yes.
I do 2 patrons on Patreon. Wow. It's one of those mornings. Anyway, she's one of them. She's one of my 2 that I support, and it's I mean, that says a lot because I like a lot of things, and it's hard not to give money away to people on Patreon, but she is definitely worth going and
That's awesome.
There's too many out there, to be honest, at the moment.
There's
I do one Patreon, Mike. That's
I know. Thank you, sir, very much. We got beards this month. It's my birthday month. I figured I'd go with beards. 5 different kinds of beards.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Whew. So welcome everyone. Good morning. As people are coming on, hey, this is not the not norm paradigm for us. Bill, have we ever been on this early in the morning ever? I mean, even during the 24-hour events.
Other than that, no.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't us streaming. That was other channels streaming during it. I think the earliest we've ever been on is like 11 o'clock in the morning. So this is this is going to be awesome. So let's. We're 1 minute before, and we always come on 1 minute before. So good morning, everyone. So we still got people coming on here, and I hit my button and nothing happened. Oh, no wonder. I hit my announce button, not my stream. Wonders of the Stream Deck. Sorry about that. Good morning.
Good morning.
We made it. And I'm going to try and blow these gentlemen up, and I didn't mean that in a bad sort of way, on the pictures as we go to get these guys all edited so we can get as large of a pick as possible. I'm J.A.K. Lorca Zamba. It's an honor to be doing another show for ReaperCon Live online, and I have 2 fantastic, unbelievable artists with me. The wonderful Mike Disney. Mike, good morning, man. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. No
Good.
problem.
And-
Again.
And we
Pleasure.
have, I coined the phrase, if you think it's corny, I'm sorry, but Bill Haley, Bill the Master Crafter, we call him, because
Oh yeah.
if you do not know about like what we do on our channel, and you're new to our channel here, please, I'm going to make myself smaller because I'm not important today at all. There you go. If you do not know about Bill's creations and what he does for us here, it's pretty. It's amazingly impressive. We're going to show some of that terrain and miniatures, and we wanted to get on and. So, Mike, what's the like when you get what's like a frustrating thing with D&D, and you're an OCD person, and you find this wonderful miniature, and your character fights with a battle axe, but the miniature has a longsword in its hand. I mean, you don't want to use that figure, right? Do you have that happen? We have it happen all the time.
Well, I mean, I basically do for customers. So
Yes. Hmm.
I've never really. I think the very first conversion I did was a dwarf, and I wanted to do, and I know you hate me referring to Forgotten Realms,
No, it's
but
okay.
I wanted to do a miniature of Bruner Battlehammer, and his helmet has one horn broken off. So that was my first conversion.
Nice,
So
nice.
that's really the only thing I've really done besides some Nurgle stuff, making guts and stuff like that. But
That's the fun stuff.
yeah, that's the fun stuff right there. But yeah, you find in a situation like that where I've had to do stuff like that for people, you just anything that you have from miniatures that you don't use, you save. You don't throw that away because you can use it for conversions or basing, so
Yep.
on and so forth. So that's really how you do. you know.
True. That's very true. And so we already got a question from Gaetano, the great Grendelwald Slayer, one of our most fabulous followers and subscribers. And I'm see, it's morning, and I usually go in order here. All right. So we're gonna do two giveaways today. Two of these.
Woo!
Two signed Mike Disney full overgored color prints. Okay.
What's
Two of
my
them.
name again?
You mean one
There
of
you go. Look,
these?
look, his is framed. Bill's is framed.
Divisney.
Yeah, Mike Disney. Ah. All right, we're going to give away two of them now. We're going to do one for subs. Subscribers don't of Lord Gazamba channel. One of the benefits is you don't need to be on for it, and it makes you eligible for all giveaways. And then we're going to do one for general giveaway for everyone free to sign up. And I'm going to set that up right now as Bill is talking. So, Bill, Gaetano's question was, do you see the model first as the mini or bits to be used? And that's a pretty interesting, smart question.
No, I always see it as a mini first. I don't see it as bits. Pretty much, especially for our group, every character has its own individual mini, and the weapons match the character. So generally, I'll go with character first. What's in their hands doesn't matter to me because I can cut them, pin them, do whatever I want to do, and adjust it. But it's the character, the mini, that I see first.
Yeah. So I have and all right. Here's another thing you have to understand about the show. Bill claims I break one mini every week. Every time we play, I drop something.
Absolutely.
All right. So our Bill's minis are painted to playable, great quality, because we don't want to have one of those show-stopping miniatures and then something happen to it, because we're using Dwarven Forge, we're using level terrain, and it's just that if you watch the show Thursday night, it's a chaotic mess, right? Where guys are all around the table, it's just so. I have some up here for examples, but if I break it during the show, then he's gonna hurt me on Thursday night when he's here. So let me make sure I don't break.
That's why I keep a bottle of Loctite and an activator right by my side.
Absolutely. So yeah, please sign up for Mike's giveaway. It's a fantastic. There we go. That should get it going. Exclamation point drawing, and we try not to change it. And feel free to win that. Hey, fairly good to see you this morning. So I got a scroller for Mike going on the left and a scroller for Bill going on the right. So we have a lot of examples, and we can always pull out some physical ones for Mike and Bill as are right there. But so Mike, I know you're doing a lot of commission work. What, as far as like in the last couple months, what has been like your favorite job you've done? I know that dwarf that we have is actually now a character in our campaign.
I love that. That
I should have
warms
brought that
my
up.
heart right there. You know what I mean? To see you guys using that miniature.
Yes.
And you're one of the first ones that I've sent that miniature off that I've actually seen doing something with it. So it's really really, really cool. I mean, there's been a few people, but that's really awesome to see you do that.
Oh, no problem. So let's go back to the background story. And this is the dwarf. Whose sculpt was it? It's the dwarf on the left on that picture.
That is on Twitch. She's Rainbow Sculptor, but she works for Reaper Miniatures and Dark Sword Miniatures. Her name is Christy Van Patten, and she's an amazing, amazing traditional sculptor, 3D sculptor, illustrator. She knows colors like nobody's business. She is super, super talented, very young, very a lot of good things coming out from her. Let me tell you, she has got. I paint a lot of her stuff, so and I print it for her as well. So she has some beautiful models, and she is a thank you to me, which I told I was floored. She sculpted that mini, and that is my D&D character Skarn, Wolfmaster, the paladin. He just doesn't have a shield in this pose. That's all. It's I think he left it in his closet maybe, but she was very kind to do that, and that's how that mini started right there.
Well, I loved it, and I know I was honored to get it during a fundraiser, which was fantastic. And I needed a special character to assign it to, and then so Tim has a character, Kelvin Claymore, the Troll Hewer. Now, the interesting thing about this character is this character Tim had in his campaign with his dad when he was like 10, 11 years old. So we're talking about 1978. This character started.
That's awesome too that he uses that, because I love Tim. I think Tim's a great guy, and the fact that he's using that character, that mini is his character, that means a lot to me.
So we introduced him back into the campaign on Thursday night, and it was exciting to have. And he fights with Warhammer, so it was perfect. Fit perfectly, exactly. So it was an exciting to add that in, Mike, and thank you. And the reason I'm holding on this still right here in the lower left hand corner is this is my Mike Disney collection. All right, so
well, it's about to get big.
Yes, the Mike Disney collection that I have, and if you don't know, I've had a relationship with Mike for about a year. The miniature to the right was done for our fundraiser event for St. Jude back in February, and it was a 24-hour Greyhawk Mega Stream event. We had 5 Twitch channels. If you're familiar with Greyhawk, Mike was kind enough to donate his time. It was called Return of the Falcon. The Falcon is a trilogy of adventures in the 2nd edition era. Kind of, she's a Naga, a priest of Ayus, and a mage all together. I never liked this. I never liked the modules that much, so I decided, hey, let's bring her back. And we found a Reaper figure that fit, and Mike painted her up in a fantastic fashion. So. And that was in February. We raised $2,500 during the.
That was awesome. That's what really mattered right there. Is $2,500 for a good cause,
Yeah, and so there's you painting it up, and it should re-scroll again here. So that and the two, and the third one is in the middle. And so Bill, explain to us the figure that you're going to mod, the Holly figure. Mike's going to paint it, and you're going to, yes, there she is. This figure holds another place of importance in our campaign, and how we got to that point with her having the scourge. I know I got her down on the scroller now. It's so tough. There you go. Yeah. A wonderful, wonderful looking figure too. I mean, the scourge really changes things out there.
It changes the attitude of the figure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that was I believe it's a Warlord Crusader. I believe it's a Warlord Crusader mini, and we took the scourge was from a regular succubus.
Yes.
And I had modded it, but in the process of transportation, it broke. So Mike was kind enough to repair it when it got there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just changes the character, the flavor of the figure.
Mm-hmm.
So Holly is the head of, and Mike is going to finish it. Holly's the head of the Dark Brotherhood, which is an organization that's existed in my campaign since the 80s. She's a 16th level specialty priestess, Leviator, the Maiden of Pain, and but she is very pristine and very, comely, and likes to look very innocent until she needs to become the evil being that she is. And Mike's like, yeah, that's for Virtual Grey Con, which is a month from now. Mike will finish up that many lives. So characters existed for over 30 years in my campaign. Bill and I were trying to figure out what character we could use in the campaign, and we came up, hey, we don't have a Holly figure. We need to have her. So that'll be a permanent fixture. Another one in our.
And that's a character from before my time.
Yeah, before Bill even played. That's
who just started making appearances again.
Yes, please feel free to ask questions at any point during the discussion. We'd be more than happy, Mike and Bill. I'm just here to host. They are the experts as far as painting and crafting. So, Mike, what do you think of that figure?
I can't wait to paint it. That's why I keep looking at it. I'm keeping it in front of me, and obviously I know a 30-year-old character. This is an honor for one thing to be doing this for your campaign, and second, it's going to mean a lot to you, I'm sure. So I want to do it up nice. And I noticed, so I'm trying to suck in all the detail that I can. I spent quite a good time polishing her up and pinning that scourge back on. But I noticed that there's a gem in the top of her wand right there.
Ooh.
And I don't know or not wand, but staff. So I don't know if she has that in game, or if you have that any particular want for color on that.
Good question, Bill. What do you think, Bill?
I'd leave it up to the artists.
Oh, wow.
I think,
because it really, I don't know what color scheme you had worked out with Mike, because it'll be a surprise when I start seeing it appear on stream. So just
well, if you've read in Deities and Demigods, the original book, she's a Finnish mythology. I think she appears in Forgotten Realms too, Leviator. She wears all white. I mean, her clothing, Leviator, the deity herself.
No, not white.
I'm all right with that. I got plans, and plus, this is tiny. This ain't 18 custody bikes. You know what I mean? You can see them suckers right there. There they are.
Leviator's white. Yeah, yeah. That doesn't mean now she's got full plate mail on her plate mail, so you're going to see some great armor on this figure. You're going to see that scourge that's been wonderfully attached and modded to the character. Can you, Mike, explain to us the process you did of pinning to help out everyone?
Okay, so when this got here, unfortunately, it was broken because the post office sucks. And I hate to say that, but not the post office, but some postal characters just don't know how. So this scourge was broken off. So what I did, and you can see it's super, 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 super tiny, but if you got your pinning game down a little bit, you can finagle it to where you can pin it in there and make it sturdy, and that sucker ain't coming off unless you clip it off. So what I did was I took an X-Acto knife and made a pilot hole. And what a pilot hole is first I took a micron pen or a dark pen, and I made a little point. That was okay. Let me start at the beginning. Wow. All right. First off, you cleaned the area where it was broken with a file. And since it's a metal miniature, I used a diamond file, cleaned that up, made it flat, but I was very, very careful. I have small files. So do you have one there, Bill, you can show? Do you have a diamond file there or something?
No, I don't have a diamond file. I just use a little micro set of files that I have.
Okay, well, you can use those too. And you get it nice and flat. Then I take it's pinned. Yeah, this is pinned right here. This isn't the smallest thing I've pinned. I've pinned smaller, not much, but this actually had a little wiggle room. I really didn't have to look on all four sides, but I'll explain. You can see the top of the pin right there. If you look close enough,
Cool.
Yep.
between the hand and scourge right there, you can see the top of the pin. So what I had to do was I filed it down, made it flat on both ends, on the scourge end, on the hand where it broke. And I took a micron and I dotted each end to where I could eye out the middle of it. Then I took a very, very, very brand new X-Acto blade or knife and put it right on that micron dot and just twisted it a few times and made a little pilot hole. Then I took my hand Dremel and with my the smallest drill bit that I have, and I put it right into that pilot hole, drilled down, and was very careful. You have to drill a little bit, look on all sides, make sure it's not going to be crooked or go out the hand or, slip down the side of the hand and ruin it, and pull off half the sculpt while it's at it. So I made sure it was centered, drill a little bit, keep looking, drill a little bit, keep looking, drill a little bit, and then do the same for the other side. Then I take a paper clip, a nice steel paper clip, snap it, use Zap-A-Gap super glue, slap that into one end. And now, since this is bent, I had to bend the paper clip a little bit. So I glued it and let it dry into the scourge end, because that way I could hold the scourge and bend it with a pair of little pliers and fit it into the hand. Because if I would have put it on this end, you might snap that arm off, trying to bend the paper clip. So I didn't do that. So, and then I glued it in there, waited for it to dry, bent the tip a little bit, and shoved the other end right into the hand there, and voila, there you go, repaired miniature that's not going to go anywhere.
And an exciting miniature. It's once again honored that you would do this for us. I mean, it's really going to be a wonderful addition to the to our campaign. And it's just, if you're a D&D player out there, and miniatures give personality to your character. Here's one, Mike. We've never really had anyone do artwork for characters. Is really, it's not cost effective, considering we have like 2,000 characters in the campaign, right? That would cost what, maybe $50,000 for us to get all of art drawings done for all of our characters. But the miniature is where you have a unique, very cost-effective way of getting some personality look to the character that you're playing, and that's what we've done for the last 40 years, and so this is going to add such a flavor to the Dark Brotherhood and the Holly and that character. I'm so excited about it, man. Can't wait.
Well, I'm honored to work on it. I can't, because Bill is an incredible painter. That shark that you guys sent me and those frost giants, everything I see that you guys use on your table looks beautiful. So the fact that you guys asked me to do special characters for you is an honor in itself, because this is good for me. I love D&D. It's a big thing for me. So, to be able to do this, and for a 40-year-old campaign, and you've got the man Leonard Lakofka hanging out with you on the red, that's nerd boner 100%. I mean, you can't get more D&D than that. That's superstar right there. So in my eyes, so of course, it's a no-brainer.
Well, thank you. Leonard's become a regular on the show. He comes on Gabbin on Sunday nights almost every week, and he comes on Legends and Lore every Wednesday night almost every time, and he's on for 25 minutes on Legends and Lore and about 45 minutes on Gabbin, because that's all he can hang out with. And we love having him on. And so, real quick, if you are new to the show, Leonard Lakofka has a contest going on. Leonard is asking for either magic user, druid, or cleric. You to make it doesn't have to be themed, but themed maybe a little bit better. A first level, second level, and third level spell of all the old school rules, range, target, effects. And you can send it to him at leomund@aol.com. That's it, Liam. He is Leomund. He is Lehman's Tiny Hut. And he'll announce a winner, I think, in 2 weeks. So you have until a week from Friday. So I already have my idea. Normally, I don't participate in these, but I'm participating in this one. I have 3 spells I'm working on now myself, which I can't wait to submit to him. And then we may compile all those that he approved and put them in the Earth Journal. We're going to submit them as an article in the Earth Journal magazine for the winter quarter, so you get it in there.
Awesome.
Hey, Paul. Good morning. So that just a little sidebar there for Leonard, and Leonard will be on tomorrow night too. And tomorrow night we will have another legend on, Jason Bowman, the creator of the Pathfinder world. Will be on to talk about his time in Greyhawk and D&D and the early days of living Greyhawk, and also put that up as well. So you get to see both of them tomorrow. But thanks for that, Mike, for that mention out on Leonard. Leonard is he's 76 years old, and he's going. He's got some rough time. He's going through chemo now, but he's a trooper, and he's been great. He's been fantastic. Plus, you'll see Anna Meyer tomorrow night. So if you want to talk about maps, Anna Meyer's there, and we'll be on. And also we may have Casey Brown from the Living Greyhawk era will be on as well to interview and talk. Oh, look at that! We got a nice raid coming in already in the morning. There are people playing or doing stuff in the morning here. So
Joey Orthober.
Oh, okay,
guy
cool.
Right there. He is also an incredible painter. Right there, and you want to talk about a guy that makes plinths and model holders that are just gorgeous. Let me tell you, I've had Joe's wood in my hand many times, and it's smooth and hard, and it's got a nice feeling.
Beautiful. That was the entendre. It was perfectly flowed, Mike. Well, welcome on, and please hang out. And like I said, please, everyone, feel free. If you don't have one, we're giving away 2 of these, one for subscribers and one for a general sign up, which is going on there. And you can get a great Mike Disney signed Overlord print, which will be coming out next April. Can't wait.
We were talking last night, not to cut you off.
No, go for it.
Not to throw Reaper into the grinder again, but we had a stream last night with the wonderful Holly Monster and Zambies, and we mentioned Halloween is right around the corner, and what better miniature to be having out during Halloween than the Overgord. And John was in chat and heard it, and he said that he took a note and he's going to present it to John or Ron, and we'll see. So you never know. We might not be waiting too long for a limited run of those. Who knows? I don't want to say anything, but yeah, John was in chat and he said he was going to present it to Ron. So
Mike, if that happens, I would request one, and we will do an Overgord themed adventure once we have it all done up. Before Halloween, we would do it, of 2021. We'd do it right away. So let me know, and we would get cranking on that and do a special, Thursday night game with its use. Absolutely.
That would be lightning fast, because I don't know how fast they can produce it. It would have to be metal because the forge is right there. So I don't know if it's a thing, because October is like right
close
here, very close.
I said 2021 because it's gonna come out in April. We want to get it out, and if it happens, though, Mike, we would love to have one. So
it definitely everybody. I'm gonna be giving away every one that I get except for 3. So
cool. Cool. Fun.
I've already got a great idea for the Overgord to have some minions too. The having some pumpkin golems. Reaper makes a really great pumpkin golem.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a piece of terrain idea, an overgrown cemetery with overgrown with a pumpkin patch where the overgourd rises. So
Yeah,
I've got a little terrain piece in mind.
Oh, I can't wait. That is the one thing right there is that guy is going to spawn a lot of conversions. I can tell you right now, people are going to be adding to him, and they're going to be doing exactly what you're doing. I know I'm going to be making a big centerpiece for him. So, and I just had we rewrote the lore for him. So I just had a friend of mine rewrite the background story of him. And boy, let me tell you, it is a lot more fearsome than what it was before.
Excellent.
It is dark, and it is gritty, and it is terrifying. So I even let somebody another person read it, and that's exactly what they said. They were like, wow, that's kind of scary. And I was like, well, that's what I want him to be. He's goofy looking, but I don't want him to be that way. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to get the mini. So
it's great to have the anticipation of knowing you had a fantastic accomplishment, having that done for this Bones, and that is plus you're right. The creativity that's going to spurn off of it is going to be wonderful, and that's what's so exciting about D&D is that we're taking one. All right, so it's weird. We are one of the few, I think, channels that Reaper sponsors that we don't really have a true crafting show every week. Bill shows a lot of his work, and I think we love to show what we've done, what Bill has created, and put it into gameplay. And I think that's when we take that overboard, that's what's going to happen, right? It's going to be put into gameplay.
And it's amazing what you have done, Bill. First off, Gazoom, but you guys have, bar none, what in the top, you've got the best setup. You guys' terrain is gorgeous, everything is beautifully painted, it's enormous. Like when I see the scope of how big it is, because you got all the fellas sitting around the table, like that is something else. And Bill, you have done such an incredible job making it look the way it is. I feel like I'm on, like the very first time I saw your stream, remember when it came on the news, the Star Wars backgrounds where they were showing all the little miniature dioramas that they had built up and how it was filmed and everything. I shit you not, that's exactly what went through my head when I saw your guys' stream the first time. I was like, oh my God, I need to be in this basement. I need to be at this place. And it was you did that, Bill. Your artwork elicited a lot of emotion in me, and that's what it's all about right there. And the passion that opens, you draw a lot of people into this stream through your artwork, and it's not even a creative stream, like Azumba said. It's a D&D stream, but your artwork brings a lot of people in here.
Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. It's the streaming community has really changed the way I've gone about painting. I'll tell you, your painting has inspired me to change the way I've done things. I used to rush paint everything because, well, normally we got a lot of minis to paint, especially when we're starting a new group of miniatures. At one point we had 6 guys playing, and we use 3 characters each that we can swap characters. Trying to get 18 minis painted in a short amount of time, as you know, is not easy. And I don't have a lot of extra painting time. I work full time and have kids, so if I get an hour or 2 to paint a day, it's a lot. But the streaming community has done a lot to bring out terrain and painting in the last. I've only been involved really watching in the last year or so, and it's really changed the way. And you're one of the main guys, and I watch every day. Or I should say, I listen more than I get to watch because I'm working. But
he's usually in his car, driving, listening to you.
I stream at a really crappy time. I know.
Hey, you know what though? It's entertaining, and when I stop, I get a chance to look and see what you're doing, and I get to rewatch things. So it's great.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It is to have somebody like yourself in there watching me. That's inspiration, and that's another reason why I do this, is because there's so many talented people out there that contribute to this community. And man, I'm not gonna lie, I suck it all in like a vacuum, a Hoover. You can call me Kirby, baby, because it is. I'm sucking all of that good stuff in. You guys are amazing, so talented.
Thank you for that wonderful compliment. I mean, we really appreciate it. So if you're new to this channel, we have a game we play on Thursday nights, and we had the kickoff RPG for ReaperCon Live, which was fantastic, fun. You know, it was just one big hack and slash, right? It really was. But we wanted to show all the Reaper miniatures, and we wanted to theme it. So a quick story. I push things. So I told the story to Mike. Bill and I were trying to decide about 3 months ago, what are we going to do for ReaperCon now that it's virtual? I said, I'm going to ask Michael, and I'm going to ask Justin and the crew if they would give me the ship. Send me the 3-foot long ship. And so, well, that didn't go over too well. I tried, though, because we were going to do a pirate theme. But since we didn't get that, I said, well, all right, where do we want to go? And Bill's like, hey, man, they got some great Frost Giant figures, and we can do some things up. Let's do a giant theme, and that's where that went. So I developed the story behind it. Bill did all the artwork for it, and that's how we got to what we played on Thursday night. So it's kind of a collaborative effort here. I will, like, with a month out, or sometimes 2-3 months out, say, Bill, this is what I'd like to do for this group at this point, and what can we get? What don't we have? And then, Reaper's so kind to help, with the sponsorship, and we send out for the minis that we need. Bill gets them painted up. So that's kind of where we are. There's a picture from a scene set down beneath Mike and Bill from Thursday night. Here's the portal. So I got some of the stuff that we utilize, and this is bones, right? And Bill painted it up. Now I want to show you, how do we illuminate this? Okay, it's simple. I want to show you a little trick. So it's all in angles and stuff. We take just to show you a little trick you can do for yourself. All right, you can see it kind of behind in that picture.
Doesn't give away these tricks for free. So
yes. Yeah. All right. So, and watch. We take our little remote. All right, and then we just turn it on.
You're not showing it on
there we go.
Screen.
Turn it on. All right. And then I'm going to set the purple. And then I'm going to set it to strobe. All right. And now it's going to strobe. It's going to be behind it. All right. Now I have 2 of these normally, but there you go. And now it's going to strobe on and off. That's it. It's that simple.
That looks so cool on the table too, man.
Yeah, like, that's all you need to do.
They got it. Then you had that big Frost Giant priestess standing right in front of it. I was in heaven. That was nerd heaven right there, boy. Let me tell you.
Well, thank you. And so that's a simple way, and we do this with fog effects too. So we had a kind of an invasion of drowned ones, if you know what they are, and we used all of the smoke, and I got the lighter ones. I put all of them in bright white behind it as the fog rolled in. I should have put that picture up too. But that's an easy effect you can do. And once again, this is what's this, 1995 on Reaper site. Gaetano linked it on the Reaper site the other day and put it in. But it's a nice sturdy bones miniature. And I think Frank from Nightheart used the inner ring on this the other night in his on Reaper Errant. I think he he took it out and had it on his Reaper Errant show last night too, if I was watching correctly. So there you go. A great little trick to do to mod a mini very simply for illumination purposes. So some other things. Mike, what do you think about the Reaper packs? Like, do you utilize them at all? Like for shields and weapons? I know they have weapon pack kits, they have shield pack kits, or do you 3D print any accessory items you use now for the most part?
Well, first off, I have 2 rooms filled to the gills with blank miniatures and sets and everything else, literally. And then all around this room right here is nothing but spare parts. I've got 2 drawers, 2 shelving units over here filled with bits. little TV trays all over here filled with bits. Yeah, I don't really need to utilize any of any stuff. I save everything. So I don't. Yeah, exactly. Quiznos. My house is a game store. It literally
Nice.
is. I could 100% start a game store with the inventory I have. So
It's awesome. But it's a good thing that you'll have everything you needed. And now with having, and I put this up, so we've entered the 3D printer realm recently. I know Mike has too, and this will always help as well. Let me get through this real quick. There you go. So what are those, Mike, that you have as far as
uh,
printers?
those are Elegoo Marses, and they're good printers. They're basic ones. I've had them for about a year now,
Mm-hmm.
and I print up everything. You know what I mean? I got them because I started getting into digital sculpting, and I want to be able to create my own stuff. You know, and we're starting down that road now. Actually, with stuff we're doing on stream because I want to create my own stuff. If you want to see it, create it. So, and this was a big road, a big foundation to have that road, to be honest. You know what I mean? So those are utilized for a lot of good things. A lot of miniatures, a lot of tokens. You can get a lot of bits out of a 3D printer, that's for sure. And I love them. They're very, very useful. Very useful.
Excellent. I'm scrolling through some pics of scenery down below as well, of like full scenes that we use with fire effects and some other things. We've recently added a 3D printer to our selection, and to help. And here it is. Okay, this is Bill. What is it, and how are we using it?
It's a Creative Ender 5, and we're using it. It's mostly for terrain. It's not, I haven't even ventured into printing anything else other than terrain pieces. It's great. It's to use. I mean, right now we're printing road systems,
Mhm.
and that's where we're starting. And I've got a couple 3D building projects, pieces of terrain that I'm working on.
There's
And,
your first 3D print that went
that's
on the
was
table.
my first print. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first.
But yeah, it's a game changer for us, especially for us using terrain. It's
Yeah, and
a
that's
lot
a
of fun.
beautiful piece too. That is really nice. I like how you added the flowers everywhere and the foliage. That's just a really beautiful piece.
So, shout out, Mike, where a lot of that foliage, besides Bill's creation of sagebrush and others, where he's getting that foliage from, just to give that individual a shout out.
Do you get your stuff from Rival Crafts, right, Bill?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Sarah is amazing, and she has a lot of beautiful items over there. I use her stuff almost exclusively, so her tufts are, I've never seen the randomness that she's got, and they're super gooey. They are really, really adhesive. You don't need anything. You just take them right off, boop, right back
Yeah.
on. Put them down there. It's beautiful stuff, and she's got everything you need.
Yep.
And she really takes care of you. That's
Yep.
the thing I like about Sarah. Yeah, Rival Crafts. She really takes care of you. They're out of UK, so you got to wait for the shipping a little bit, but she's worth it.
Turnarounds are very quick though.
Oh, very quick, very quick. She's a worker. She knows what she's doing, and it adds a great deal to the miniature for sure.
So, Gaetano has a question about how we do road systems. So I hate to say this, but I put Bill through the ringer on this one. So this is the lowlands of Gamescape 3D. That is the sinkhole. Every one of the road systems has a special piece. So that is the sinkhole. Bill, how'd you fill that? How'd you make that look like it's a muddy black mess of goo in that sinkhole?
Well, I mean, like I said, I've recently been watching a lot more terrain streams. So There's a couple out there that really inspired me, but this one, I mean, it's just 2-part artificial water epoxy from your average craft store. But I use a lot. I'm using grout now as the aggregate to put down, more so than just sand and PVA. The texture holds up a lot longer, and you can really dry brush it a lot better than the sand and PVA, because you don't really have to do a second layer of sealing once it's down. But that is just I said, artificial water from your average craft store with some. I'm trying to think whose dye did I use or ink? Liquitex. It's just Liquitex acrylic ink that's added to it for flavor and structure. And it's just poured, and then let it sit, and weight it down. Because when you start getting acrylic 2-part epoxies for that stuff, it heats and it will warp. So you gotta weight the terrain down on the end so it doesn't lift. But yeah, it comes out really good. Got to be patient.
So the question Gaetano also had was, how do we lay out our road systems? And the answer is chaotically. All right. If you see this picture I have below them now, below Mike and Bill, that is 5 pieces of road. Okay, that's 5, and the roads are about this long each, and then you have your special piece. Now, we have an 8x8 table, and if I want to do a town, I need curves, I need all sorts of other things. Bill is printing out 18 different pieces of road work, which yes, and they're taking for this system, and they're taking how long to print roughly? 10 hours each?
Each piece is between 9 and 13 hours, depending on, the Ys, the crossroads and stuff are like 13 hours.
Yeah, and so then I will have a modular system, which I have with my old train roads that I use, and now we're going to this. It's 1,000 times better. The roads was the one system that we really just were lacking in, and this this company Gamescape 3D has been fantastic to us, and that's the start of it. And now I have some 4-way intersections, some curves, and we're just getting started with it. So just to say, Gaetano, your answer is now I'll have more and more options as the roads are finished, a little at a time. This is 3D prints take a long time to get out on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so. That's why I wanted to answer your question. Thank you, Gaetano, for that question here. So, Mike, what was the most difficult mod you ever had to do to a figure for someone for a commission, or something that was challenging to you?
Well, I think the most challenging thing I've ever done. Ooh, that's a good question. I think the most challenging thing I've ever done, it really wasn't that big of a deal, was and it's for my own army for
That's cool.
Warhammer, and I have it sitting right here actually. Is I do sculpting and stuff for my mods a lot, using green stuff epoxy, Neatitite.
Mm-hmm.
And this miniature right here, if you guys can see, I don't know how good.
Back it up just a little bit and up. I know it's hard. There it goes. It's yeah. Wow, look at that. I love
but
that.
I did the banner. So the banner on this, okay, let me see if I can't do this the right way. I'll switch my camera up real quick.
Sure.
Give me a second, guys.
Take your time.
I'm going to illuminate and I'll explain. That way we can talk a little bit more about some of the crafting and what I really do. So give me
absolutely. Because
zoom here and switch.
Hey, Mark, what's going on? Good to see you on. I got to remember to move my mic up every time I drink my coffee here too, so you don't hear me slurping.
All right. So hopefully you're going to be able to see this, and it won't keep on auto focusing on me. So what this is, there he is. There's your buddy.
Yeah.
He's always watching, always lurking. Anyway, where did I put my miniature at? There it is. So this right here was probably one of the most challenging things because what I did was I sculpted the banner, the rope around the banner on both sides.
Look at that. Oh, I love the back too, man.
You
Oh,
see the tassel right
yeah.
there?
Yes, you can see it. Yep. There you go. Look at that.
There we go. A little bit more light on the subject over here, guys. Sorry about this.
No, it's awesome.
My camera is not reacting. So I sculpted the rope, the tassel on the back, the banner. This is all Neatitite. So, and then the iconography on the shoulder pad. That is also that's the skull and the scythes behind it. That is also green stuff sculpted Neatitite. That's a mod. So because these are death specters and they don't have, you know, shoulders for that. Now it's a goofy looking skull, obviously, because I sculpted it real quick. But you know, it's a skull nonetheless.
That's awesome.
And then we did the other mod that we did to this character was we chopped off the head and put a head from a Fantasy Chaos miniature on there, which is a skull helmet. So that was the other mod. The normal face is a Terminator helmet that goes in here. And then this used to be a hammer, and we sculpted this entire element right here, the scythe. Why it will not focus, I don't know.
There it goes.
There it goes.
You see the filigree on the side of the scythe?
Yeah.
I sculpted that with green stuff. The scythe is Procreate, and the skull is green stuff. Everything else was part of the hammer already. But that was the most challenging thing because I did it on that side, and then I did it on this side.
Yeah, you got to recreate it once you've done it.
You got to recreate it and match it as good as you can.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do.
No.
So that was the most challenging thing I've done so far.
Crazy question, estimate, hours into that fantastic miniature.
This piece right here?
Yeah. Just a guess.
3 hours, maybe. Three hours probably.
To paint, to finish it.
Oh, to do the sculpting, everything. The painting, because that's freehand there now too, and it's not done.
Right.
So I'll put 40 hours in this miniature.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem. I'll put 40 in it. That's all freehand on the back there too. Damn it! Why is my camera not focusing?
It's okay. I know. We all have petulant. We have petulant cameras. It's like
there's nothing else for it to focus on,
I
know. Which is crazy. You know, it's like, what the heck is it doing here?
That's okay.
But yeah, so there it goes. Now it wants to focus.
Yeah.
So that's all freehand. Obviously, it's not done. But
that's. I mean, what and that's a Warhammer.
Yeah, this is Warhammer 40,000. The Legion is called Death Specters. There's the freehand. There's the freehand skull.
Yeah, that is complete. Gitana asked, "Is it not complete?" But that's complete, correct?
No, it's not complete.
Oh.
No, this is not complete at all. The base is just.
Oh, okay. Primer. I didn't even notice that. Oh my gosh, you're right. I'm sorry.
The base is just primer. There's no script work on the parchments hanging from them. Yeah, this is like I still need to put his, other iconography on there. I still need to add a lot of decorative elements all over him because he's a leader. He's a captain of his squad, so he can't just look plain, and then I need to weather him up and add that battle damage, so
right. Wow.
You gotta make him look, and that's just plain steel on the back of the banner still, so I gotta prime that up and paint that too. So yeah, he's he's about maybe 35-40% done.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, that is, and that's a personal project for you, and you'll have that forever, and that's the awesome thing.
Yep. And speaking of customizing and adding the minis, is this is another one where the miniature wasn't big, the base wasn't big enough for the miniature in my mind.
Okay.
So, we added another base to it. I just took a wooden dial from a wooden plaque or something from good old Hobby Lobby, and we added to it simple ballast, just like pretty much what the master crafter there does, and added to this guy.
That is what whose miniature is that?
This is Creature Caster,
Oh, cool.
but the person I'm building it for is using it as a demon prince for Nurgle. So
Oh, that's wonderful. Fantastic. Now, was that Z-brushed? Or the sculpt? Was it done?
I have no idea. I'm sure
You
that
know.
the person sculpted this in ZBrush, and then they digitally printed it, and I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. They started with they start with concept artists, and then because I've talked to the guys who run Creature Caster. I've had lunch with them out there at Adepticon, and they've explained their process, and I know that they use concept art and then they go and use digital sculptors. So I think one of them does traditional sculpting, but that's it.
Very, very cool. Mike, Mike is a true artist when it comes to, if you want a detailed commission, I mean, Mike's the guy for you. So keep that in mind, everyone out there. That Mike, you're still available. I know you're
Oh
swamped.
yeah, I'm swamped right now. It's definitely gonna be a minute before I'm getting caught up on actually everything, and that's with the help of the wonderful Megan. She runs my show pretty much now and helps me with everything, scheduling and making sure I stay on track. So I am getting a lot of stuff caught up and completed now, but it's still a minute to wait because we've got a lot of stuff on the board. I'm studying ZBrush. I've got an art book coming out / coloring book coming out that I have to prepare.
That's awesome.
Still with Zambies. And I've got another project that I work with twice a week now with another streamer named Gridlock Sis, where we're creating our own miniatures. We actually have a Eastern mountain dragon that it's a whole scene. It's going to be a monastery that sits on the top of a very, very high mountain peak, like insanely high mountain peak, and it is guarded. It's an ancient monastery that it settles for a mooring for airships as well. So it not only is this huge catacomb system underneath that houses all of these ancient artifacts for every race on this fantasy planet, and it's guarded by this ancient dragon that's Asian style, and of course he's a mountain dragon, so it's really cold up there, and it's surrounded by these beautiful bonsai trees that have like a cold sap to them. That's why they're able to survive up there, and it's pretty
Awesome.
Pretty cool. I've been sculpting the bonsai trees in ZBrush, and Gridlock has been doing everything else. He's done the dragon, the monastery, everything. He's amazing. The guy's really cool. So that hopefully we get some people adding that to campaigns and stuff.
Lovely. That's another exciting thing. You're working on a lot, and that's
it's busy.
Yeah. Bill, I want to show a figure. I got the picture up of only 3 of them.
Sure.
We call them the brothers. This was a Bones Black release.
Bones Black.
This
Yes.
is this. All right. So this is one of the 3 in the picture. Now Bill went a little beyond that. We got these. One of our first initial Reaper orders, and we got a whole bunch. So Bill took it one step further, and we have 5 of these, and they're all different. So
Jay, real quick, while you're talking to
sure.
Bill, I'm gonna mute my camera and microphone and use the restroom and get some
Sure.
coffee.
Sounds
Right,
good, man.
guys. Sorry.
Awesome. All right, so there's one, and this is I think this is the base, right? There's no real true. It's painted, but
Yeah,
there's
just
no.
with the club in his hand. Yes.
Okay, what is this figure? You remember the name of it?
It's the Bones Black Ogre. I can tell you in a second. Hold on.
Yep. Hey, Strange, what's going on? I'm looking to see. I think this one also is a paint job in a different color scheme, and then we got 3 that are truly really modded. All right, so you have two different color schemes. I love using these on, and like I said, they're Bones Black. Is it? See, that's the great thing about Thunder. That's the great thing about having crafters out there doing stuff, and you can fit in what they're using into your campaigns. I mean, that's what we always. It's great, and that's another real cool thing I think about tying the D&D miniature / tabletop community into the crafting community. And you have 3 main streamers that really do that. Number 1, is us. 2, and I'm going to do shout outs for both the other 2 as well, as long as I hit the right thing. You got, of course, everyone knows Nightheart Gaming. You got Frank and Ann at Nightheart Gaming, very, very miniatures based. And the 3rd and newest one is Blue Box RPG, John Birchfield, doing his Greyhawk campaign. John's on a little bit of a vacation hiatus now, but they are all, yeah, no problem, man. See, didn't even know you were on there, but I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, I just want to say, I love that there's a crossover connection between the communities now, and Nightheart's the true bridge between them. And Frank and Ann are producing a lot of the ReaperCon Live online events going on right now. So we're just, like I said, we're honored to be. Thank you. Having a lot of fun today. All right, so Bill's looking for what that figure name is. That's okay. But here are the other additions. And Gitana will find it for us. Bill, don't worry about it. He always.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through, but yeah.
Yeah, Gitana always finds it. So we have the 2 standards. Tell everyone what you did. Here we go. Hopefully it'll focus. Here's the first edition change. This one has a shield and a sword, right?
Yeah, well, the shield I just it's a balsa wood shield I made. The sword is from one of the Reaper's weapons bits, and I just it's basically it was drilled and pinned and added just so we can differentiate the miniatures on the table. It's a lot easier than saying, "Hey, it's the ogre with the club." Well, it's the ogre with the shield now. We know. It adds some variety to the minis.
Next one.
Next one, that is actually 2 ends of the clubs that I took off of the ogres.
Okay.
And converted them into a hammer. And the shield is or the shoulder piece is a skull off Brand X's skull box, which
Okay.
is something I wish Reaper would do. Is Reaper would put out a large box of varied skulls like one of their competitors does, because I would use them. And do use them all the time.
Oh yeah. Oof, man, that is, I know what box you're talking about, and it's a wonderful deal. It's awesome. 300 skulls for $15. I'm done. I can't pass that up.
There we go. Finally.
So that's and they're great for just doing stuff like that, just adding some flavor and character to the minis.
I will send a message to Mr. MC and give him that suggestion. After
The other
show.
thing that I wish a miniature company would do that you don't see out there is sheath weapons.
That's a great idea. Absolutely.
Because sometimes you have characters who carry 2 swords. Well, most minis don't. Not all minis come with 2 swords, where you could add one to the belt, add one to the back, and just having a collection bits of sheath, long swords, short swords would be, or even daggers would be great for modding and adding to minis.
Here is the final one, which you can see on that picture too. But here is, let me see if I can get a good skull. This one. Come on, come on, come on.
Yeah, that's a lot of those are Reaper bits. The shields are Elven shields. The battle axe is, I'm not sure who the battle axe was. That's in the bits box, but the offhand sword / dagger is another Reaper mod with a Brand X skull on its head. But yeah, and the Elven shields out of the Elven weapon box.
Yeah, I love that.
I think it's a Warlord's kit.
That mini looks incredible.
So that gives us 5. You know, 5 of these, all in bones. So these are not expensive.
No,
We
not
have
at all.
5 different ogres that we can utilize in mass fights or individual. You know, so and they're very economical and very nicely done. And I wanted to share that with everyone as far as a cool edit that you can do fairly easily, right, Bill? It didn't take. I mean, it took a little while. I want to show some of the older. Here's an older one. I want to show you because we utilize these.
The door shield is just carved balsa wood. That's all it is, and I added rubber bands on the back for the straps.
Here's it.
Yeah.
So we have every figure, every player character we have in our campaign, we require a unique figure. Now, we have a couple, maybe it's the same figure painted differently or whatever over the years, because it's been 40 years, so I don't know how many thousand we have. I should count them one day, but this one, as you can see, this is an old edit that Bill did, and here you go. It's there you, surprise, Bill.
Oh yeah, that's a knight character who fights with a rod of flailing. So
yes.
I had to add two heads to the flail.
2 heads.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How'd you do that, Bill? That looks amazing.
They're just same thing. They're trimmed and pinned and put together. That's it.
But this was an original. What was it? A sword in her hands originally? Looks like a sword.
It was a sword.
It was a sword. So you got a rod of flailing, and if anyone knows in D&D, rod of flailing, both balls can attack it. Oh gosh, both. Yeah, balls can attack at the same time with a rod of flailing. So you get 2 attacks with them. A very powerful weapon. So that's Sorsha, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, he ripped it right off from Willow.
I stole it right off of Willow.
Because he has a thing for Joanne Wally. There you go. Now you know. So I wanted to show that. That's one of the best old. When do you think you modified that one? 10 years ago?
That's she fought with Scimitar at one point. So yeah, I took the figure home and changed it when she got the weapon. Yeah.
All right, so Thunder asks, maybe this isn't a miniature question, but who figured out that cotton baton and an LED could look like an explosion fire? Maybe it's not cotton. Oh, all right, so those are the fires. All right, let me, good question. I think Bill can answer this one. Where did you, let me get to one of these. It should be right here.
I'll tell you, there are so many people out there.
There you go.
Wargaming community has been doing that effect with pillow stuffing and a light in it for forever, for a long time. If someone's looking for it, there's so many great videos out there. Just do Wargaming fire markers, and it comes up. And it basically, I just do it's an LED wrapped with pillow foam and a light coat of black spray paint to your flavor over it. And that's all they are. There's nothing difficult about them. It's something you go to the dollar store. Literally, you go to the dollar store, buy tea lights, buy a cheap pillow, and get the cheapest can of black primer at your big box hardware store for $1. Little hot glue. You could make hundreds out of one pillow. So there's nothing expensive about them, and there's great tutorials out there.
I wonder if Reaper's out of stock on that Ogre because it's not showing in the links for Ogre. Maybe it's called something else.
No, it's not showing in the link. That's why I couldn't find it.
Wow. Okay. It could be, I don't know if it was a limited edition run or not. So, Mike, have you ever illuminated anything? Have you tried?
Nope. No, I've never had any customer ever ask me to, or or want that. So it's never crossed my path. That is something that would be 100% new to me. So I'd be having Bill right beside me.
Okay. We showed this on Thursday night. Okay. This is a Reaper Fire Elemental, Bones. Okay. Bill?
Yep, the large fire elemental.
There you go. Now it's lit. All
Yeah,
right.
I love that. I love that.
Okay.
That is badass.
Bill, why don't we show how'd you do this? Because the base is custom too.
Yeah, I mean the base is just it's just a dollar store tea light. And I used XPS foam, regular house insulation, but you could use anything to build up the base. Wet toilet paper ripped up with white glue mixed into it to build up the base. Did just a sand and gravel on top of it. It's primed, dry brushed. I mean, it's all about experimenting. Don't be afraid to try something, and I'll say that's the one thing that's great about the Bones miniatures,
Yeah.
especially if you want to get into modifying miniatures. They're inexpensive, and they are easy to work with because especially the Bones material is soft. You can cut. That's what I'm actually working on now. I'm modifying a Frost Giant arm that I took the battle axe out of. There was a battle axe in its hand, and I stole a sword off a Fire Giant, and I'm switching their weapons. Eventually, the Frost Giant will have the sword, and the Fire Giant will have the battle axe.
Very cool. So the cool thing is that
So just here, you can
variety is great with Bones figures. It's so much more cost effective than over with metals. The Reaper Bones are fantastic. Yeah, look at that. So making the change on that will help us, and it'll give us, you know,
eventually it'll have a 3D printed shield as well that I'm going to add to it. I just
Nice.
gotta modify the existing hand.
I had a question in chat that I wanted to answer.
Go for it.
And it's Sidway from Nightheart Gaming. How you doing, Ian? What I use is usually there's like a stone gray that Reaper has. I'll use that as a base coat, and then I'll put linen white on top of that, and then I'll put pure white on top of that for the highlight. That's what I find is the best. But if you don't have the Reaper paints, you can use GW, and if you use GW, use Celestia Gray as your base coat. Then Alphawind Gray is your second highlight, and then White Scar is your top highlight. And then line all your lines with non-oil or black liner from Reaper, baby. Woo!
Very cool. I was trying to find the fog. What adventure number it was to throw that up, but I can't. I'm having trouble. I don't want to crash the stream like it's happened many times when I'm fiddling around too much. Yeah. So we have paint. We were fortunate that we ordered and got all of the new ReaperCon Live paints, and it's about 30. The brine winds are, Bill, why don't you talk about them a little bit, as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't had a whole lot of chance to go.
That was in the ReaperCons. Yep, there you go. So
yeah. That's the right box. Yep, that's the ReaperCon box. And I mean, the Reaper paints are really great. I mean, I come from a background that up until we started being sponsored by them, I've always used cheap acrylic craft paint,
like apple barrels or something.
Apple barrel, Adidas.
Yep.
And for terrain, I still recommend that because you use a lot of it, and it doesn't matter. You don't want to waste good Reaper paint on large areas of terrain. But the Reaper paint is really great. They have great coverage depending on the brand. If you're a beginner and you're looking for a lot of coverage first to learn, the Bone Series paints are great. And you're a little more advanced and you want a thinner paint, the Master Series is great. I really recommend their paints. And they are reasonable, especially when you buy kits.
Mike, as far as paint wise, is your Reaper your go-to? Do you use like some Vallejo's at all? Do you use whatever, you know?
I have a trinity that I use that is my first and foremost above everything. And Reaper is number one. And it's not just because they sponsor me. It's I have used Reaper paints for many, 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 many years because they have triads. And that takes the guesswork. They're perfect for beginners that aren't good with color theory, that aren't good with mixing their colors, or they want that. They want their shadow, their base coat, and their highlight right there picked out for them. And if they want any darker or lighter, all they got to do is add black or white. So and that is the ease and the beauty of Reaper. So they will and always will be my number one paint. And I tell that to everybody, and everybody knows that. It comes into my stream. Second is Pro Acryl by Monument. My good friend Jason Craze, who runs Monument, and he's amazing. And those paints are amazing. They have a nice matte finish. They're beautiful to go on. His whites are some of the best in the business, in my opinion. If you want to really get good whites, use his paints as well. And they cover beautifully. Yeah, I can't speak highly enough for those. And third is Scale 75, simply because of their color choices, their finish, their metallics. Their true metallics are my favorites. I really, 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 really love them. In the other paint lines, I've used Vallejo. I've got a ton of Vallejo, but I really don't like to use them that much. I airbrush primarily with Vallejo. If you see anything that I've airbrushed color-wise, it's usually Vallejo air paints because you don't have to thin them. You just right into the airbrush and there you go. So it's solely for the sake of speed is why I use them. Otherwise, those three, Reaper, Scale 75, and Pro Acryl, are my faves, simply because of their coverage, their choice, and just the way they are. They're great paints, you know, and the selection, the sheer selection of Reaper alone is a no-brainer. So
Yeah, and 30 new colors were added for Brine Wind. The all from ReaperCon and Brine Wind this time, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Just a little self promotion during virtual Greyhawk Con. Reaper is sponsoring our con in a month, and we will be giving out during they are a premier sponsor. We're going to be giving out a lot of Reaper paint sets, kits, the Learn to Paint kits, the shading kits, and I got Brinewind paint sets coming for it as well. So if you didn't get a hold of one of those 6 color box Brinewind sets during highlighted streams, you have a chance to get some at that point as well. So
they're a beautiful collection of paints. Let me tell you, you really need to get over to Reaper. If you guys don't have that collection, you need to get over and get them because they are gorgeous.
Very, very nice. A question from Thunder. This is a good question. So I am not a taskmaster when it comes to Bill. Bill runs. I ask nicely, right? Because I have not an ounce of artistic, beyond being a dungeon master, an artistic creation in my blood. I just don't. So when we come to the question was making terrain pieces, always thought of versatility. The answer is no. So Bill, explain this piece you just decided to make, and it'll scroll through. And this is brand new. This is a brand new terrain craft. So Thunder, hopefully, it'll answer your question.
Okay, yeah. So it's up on the screen.
Call me Tim.
There he is. Tim, we already talked about Kelvin and Mike's figure with Kelvin.
That's better than Taskmaster, probably.
Tim, we were hugging and loving on you, and you were nowhere to be found.
Yes.
Crazy man, you.
Yes.
You guys don't see the texts that come in. We're looking for this stuff. But yeah, I mean, that piece actually started. I was redoing my basement to move most of my painting and some of the crafting stuff down here, and I had leftover spray foam insulation, and so I just got a piece of MDF board and sprayed it on there and figured I would let it sit and pile up and see down the road. I know I would use it for something, and there's another crafting show out there who I'll mention the name is Real Terrain Hobbies. For those of you guys who are terrain builders,
Great
he
guy.
doesn't have a whole lot of videos, but he has probably one of the best tables I've seen. He built with tabletop world buildings out there. I've been watching his videos a lot, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I got that piece of foam out there, which I had originally envisioned as maybe something out of The Hobbit, like the Nazgul tombs, something like that. I'm like, you know what? This is perfect to build either some type of hilltop shrine or temple or hobbit hole or whatever. And this is what started to come out. This isn't a finished picture.
Right. I should have brought it up. It's downstairs.
Yeah, there's new stuff I went through, and I added a lot of Rivalcraft flowers and trees and stuff to it to detail it. But it wasn't so much a piece for Jay. It was a piece for me to experiment, trying new techniques. Like I said, this one's one I really moved to using grout. This is where it got me to try grout for the dirt. Using sifters and stuff to put down my flock rather than sprinkling it so you get a more even coat. I bought myself a static grass applicator, so I put that on there. So it wasn't for Jay so much, but we'll use it. But it was something I just wanted to do.
And Bill, when Bill uses something or does something, I will figure out a way to get it in the game. You know, I respect his craft enough to. I will get it highlighted and shown and get it into a game, no matter what, you know. And that's the thing. Being the DM, that's my creativity. And so Dimbus asked, in 40 plus years, do you ever throw in some other stuff? Back in the 90s, we did some Shadowrun, and I don't know why. I didn't like to roll 36-sided dice to see if I could stand up the original system. And we played Aftermath once in a blue moon. We have Tim DMing his own campaign, and that's They Call Me Tim, the ever mysterious Tim. He runs a City State Invincible Overlord campaign. We stream that normally on a Saturday night every 3 to 4 months. Brian DMs his 5e Greyhawk every 3 to 4 months. But on our Thursday nights,
you guys played a little Warhammer Fantasy with Tim.
Yeah. So there is some other things going on, but on that Thursday night game, it's usually it's my game, and we did adventure number 888. And I'm not talking about sitting sessions. That's adventures. Our sessions we estimate are 2,700 sit-down sessions. We never kept track of that, but I kept track of.
And we used to play BattleTech a lot.
Yeah, once in a blue moon. I think we haven't done a BattleTech in about almost 20 months. We haven't done a BattleTech.
Not more,
yeah. Mike, what games do you like to play?
Well, I do enjoy 40K. I used to love fantasy until they changed it to Age of Sigmar. And I'm talking about, of course, Games Workshop hobbies. So, but my favorite, bar none, is Dungeons and Dragons. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Without D&D, there would be no My Disney. So it's hands down, that's my favorite game. And I like to play a lot of board games, like Talisman is one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys ever played that. That's a great fantasy board game that is just amazing. I do like a lot of board games, so I do enjoy those.
Excellent.
Don't forget Mike's Thursday night Pictionary games.
Yes.
Pictionary with the wonderful Tea Time with Taryn, who
it's a shame it conflicts
in here.
Yes, Taryn, I appreciate you coming on and watching. I appreciate Ann coming on and watching as well. So here's a question. This is a BattleTech Geek question, and we got, what was the first mech out there? Strange 1779 said, I guess his first mech he ever had was Chameleon. What was the first mechs ever named, Bill?
The Mackie.
The Mackie, yes. We actually have a Mackie figure down in the basement, too.
We do.
Yeah. We have roughly...
We don't have the original Mackie figure, though. We have the second run when they redid it.
So I promise on a future Gabbin on a Sunday night, when I don't have a special guest, I will show pictures of the BattleTech miniatures, too. We have, what do we got, 500 to 1,000
Oh,
Battletech
I don't know.
miniatures?
I
Yeah.
probably have 50 of them here still that are still in blisters.
Yeah, we will show you some of those. We have a lot of unseens that were they ripped off from Robotech, so we'll show them in the future.
I think our oldest miniature, I managed to find an original Battle Droids Marauder
Yeah,
that we have down there.
we got
That
some
was
really.
painted too long ago that I want the paint job to be seen in public.
Yeah, there's some old paint jobs from the late '80s, early '90s, but and just some that we got third hand. So, Mike, I know you've done some monstrous sized, huge miniatures. Do you prefer working on the large sculpts, or do you like the smaller sculpts? I mean, I love this figure that's showing right now below. That with the bright,
The ogre Maji.
with the bright colors, and oh my gosh.
That's Artisan Guild.
Yep, Artisan Guild, the Oni clan. That is correct. That guy was a lot of fun.
Oh man,
and,
I love the ostentatious colors on it. So, what do you think? You're more of a large scale, small, or no preference?
well, I'm known for my monsters and my big dudes, so that's what gets me. Honestly, that's what I get more commissions for is doing the big guys, and I really enjoy doing those because there's so much more room for detail, and I can really get in there and add more character to them. There's more room to do what Bill does, mod and add to it. You can really, the bigger the miniature, the more you can make it yours, the more you can add to the sculpt the canvas the sculptor gave you. There's more. Like, for instance, you have on the slideshow the female frost giant that I did.
Yes.
And she's got all kinds of room for freehand and everything
Well,
on her because of the cloak and everything. But I didn't do anything like that to her, of course, because that's not what the commission called for. But stuff like that I really enjoyed doing. So I love big miniatures. You can play with the skin tones a lot more. It's just a lot of fun to me.
Excellent. Basing on large miniatures. Any tricks? I know that the bases, Reaper sells some large disc bases, but it seems like a lot of them don't come based, and especially up slopes, they fall right over. So, what is your suggestions for basing large miniatures?
Add variety.
Okay.
Anytime. Well, first off, you got to know what you're doing with your base first. What miniature is it, and tie it in with your miniature's ecology, background, whatever. You want to have that environment make sense to your miniature. So, in like, say you charge Bill with doing a miniature for your dungeon. Well, where's this miniature going to be? Is it going to be in the outside, or is it going to be in the dungeon? And you got to go from there. What is this miniature usually doing? Is he a horrible atrocity that's got stuff dripping off of him, or is he surrounded by the skulls of his victims, or guts from fresh kills, or treasure that he has piled because he's such a narcissist and greedy son of a gun? He's got everything right there in his hand. These are the things you got to think of when you're creating your bases. You got to think about what's going on that base. Where is this character at? So, and I that's how I do my process. I'm sure that's where Bill gets his, but he's lucky he's got you to tell him the direction every time. So, it leaves the guessing
out of the direction.
He asks and I do what I want to do.
Exactly. So I want to show part 2 of Thursday night Elemental. And this has got to have a base on it, but this is a Reaper Bones water elemental that has been converted. So, and now it's got an open base here. Yep. So that's a water elemental, and let me pop this in, and there we go. We got a little illumination on the on that too.
And
Yeah,
what's with the
unfortunately,
base? It's a summoned water elemental, right? So it's on dry ground,
It's
correct?
actually an ice elemental now.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's it's hard to see the detail, but it's a stony sand base, gray base color, white dry brush, and I kind of do a combination of my own snow flock. Use a little railroad scenic snow flock mixed in with Dollar Tree white sand, and with Rivalcraft snow or winter tufts.
There you go.
Yeah, Jay wanted an ice elemental, and Reaper only has a crystal elemental, which would have been hard to illuminate. So we went with that, and I just added snow effects in on top of the water after a dry brush to give it a somewhat snowy effect
And this
from a
elemental
slush elemental.
was guarding the bridge. There is a picture right there beneath with the portal master up and the illuminated portal, which we showed earlier, and there is the ice elemental guarding the bridge crossing between. So they very, very cool. And once again, a little trick of the tea light. We could not find a blue or off blue tea light, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
at the time I had, I couldn't order them and get them in time. So
yeah. So but that's a one with a custom base on it. I'm assuming this base is not original to the figure, right, Bill?
no, no, it's all built up. It's all built up around a tea light base.
There you go. There, that shows it. Wait a minute.
It's a Reaper 2-inch base that I hollowed out so I had a stable platform to work with. These little
Yeah.
2-inch bases.
How much are those for the packs of the 2-inch bases?
They're inexpensive.
Yeah,
couple bucks.
yeah,
I
for
think there's
$4 for like a pack of 6 or something like that.
yeah,
And the Reaper
something like
bases.
that. They're inexpensive. They're worth buying the bases. And they have a ton of different kind. They have display bases and flats, so there's plenty of bases to work with.
All right, we had 2 terrain questions. Let's ask those terrain questions. Can you talk about terrain and accessory storage? Obviously, things get worn with use, but you must have a system. All right, so I should buy stock in IKEA. So I got to throw these up because they're not in the scroller. And these are a little dated, these pictures, but let me throw these up real quick. All righty, here is a row of, that is Miniature Building Authority row, okay, of all of our, you can see that in the back wall, that has a lot of our buildings from Sponsor Miniature Building Authority all stored and trying to be organized, and it's tough, all right, to get all that up. So those are all IKEA bookshelves. They're inexpensive, and even I can put them together. So then you know that they're pretty pretty. If I can do it, all right. This is a wall opposite that. This has a lot of our groups in it, adventuring groups of all the miniatures Bill is painted, and then some of the collectibles that we have that I've not opened the boxes on. To the left of that would be the BattleTech. There's a shelf and a half of BattleTech miniatures. All stored. I've also illuminated them up top. I put the lights above and illuminated them down. All right, and then here is the back wall behind where Bill and Alan sit. These are all Bill's crafts. All right, there's a lot of trees and a lot of, and that they sit right there on that side of the table, and that runs that
They're
way.
right behind me, hidden off camera.
Yeah, to get a shelving on that around. And then here is the last, this is the corner of the end of that, showing more terrain and some of the winter scenery and all stacked up. Let me tell you something, I need more IKEA shelving. So I moved into this house in 2013. The basement runs the entire length of the house. It was already carpeted. It was already painted. My wife loved the open concept of the upper floor, of the main floor, and I was like, this is the perfect basement I gotta have. So, Tim and Bill and the whole crew remember the old house, and that was a disaster. All right, so Nixel asked, can you ask Bill what his best terrain trick is that you've come up with yourself? How's that sound? Or did someone else?
It's tough. There isn't anything I do that there aren't hundreds of people out there doing. There's nothing I do that's original. I watch terrain tutorials. I mean, there's a ton of great terrain streamers out there, Black Magic Craft, DM's Crafting, Max DM, Real Terrain Hobbies. It's just about being creative and trying to find an idea. In the scroller there, that mine entrance is a bigger piece of terrain, and it was just something I wanted to do. Don't throw away styrofoam packaging.
Never throw it away.
Buy your, crafting doesn't have to be an expensive hobby. There isn't most of the stuff I do, you can buy the supplies at the dollar store. You're going to use super glue. You're going to use PVA glue. You're going to use sand and styrofoam. Buy yourself an inexpensive styrofoam cutter. You don't have to buy a Proxxon. Just buy a regular styrofoam foam cutter, single blade style, and go for it. I mean, that's all you got to do. You got to just start. Buy yourself good knives, though. Buy yourself a good X-Acto knife, and just take your time. That's it. Be careful.
So, Mike, if there was something that you'd love to get into doing, and I know you're using the ZBrush, which is probably maybe the answer. What, as far as the artistic end, would you love to, like? Oh man, I'd love to jump into that at this point, and what you do.
I want to bring my miniatures to the game table.
Okay.
I mean, we started something this month in my channel. You can come in, and it's expensive to do with your channel points, but I have a redeem channel points to where you can create a creature, and the first one to redeem it gets to start the creature of what it is. And I work on that creature for 10 minutes each stream. And by the end of the month, we're going to take one day where I do the whole stream, nothing but finishing out that creature from all of the redemptions that have built up through that month, because you can redeem it once per stream. So each stream, and I stream 4, 5, 6 times a week. Sometimes I'll work on it 10 minutes each stream. And each person, it's expensive because I want people to take it serious, because we're creating something here. Like we created the Overgord in this stream. I was just the pen that drew the Overgord. The community created the Overgord. It wasn't me. It was their idea. It was a prompt in my chat, and that's how he was born on October 4th last year. So that's what we're going to do again. And I want to create pretty much a community monster manual doing that. In working and fleshing out those characters, and then eventually, hopefully, taking the best ones, putting them into ZBrush, and either I myself or the many sculptors that I do know that use ZBrush, turning them into miniatures and sending them to your table. That is what my true really goal is right now, is to do this, because I love Dungeons and Dragons, and if I can get in on making third-party stuff and adding to people's memories and games like with the Overgord, then I want to continue to do that.
And I am excited about that project that you're doing, because I'm going to hop on and maybe jump in and give you some ideas for some creatures too.
I got a lot of channel points stored up.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's the thing. People are getting.
Yeah.
People are taking it serious, and that's why I made it expensive, because I don't want people coming in and putting put an umbrella on his arm. I'm not going to do that. This is going to be taken serious. I respect your channel points and everything, but if you come in and you redeem something and add something that's just so off the wall, I'm not going to do it. It's as simple as that. There's some characters that we're going to take serious, and then some characters we'll be able to play around with like that, because it will add something to where the writer or whoever is going to make the stat blocks or the lore for that character can actually play off of that design. That that redemption that person done. And then all of these characters are going to be part of the community. Their community, they're not one person's sole creation. It's everybody's creation. They've all had a say in it. And I think that really brings everybody together and gets them more into the game themselves, because then you can look at that creation on your table physically and say to your friends, I had a part in that. You see that little part on his shoulder, or that notebook sticking out of his backpack, or that sword on his wrist, or that ankle bracelet around their foot, you know what I'm, or around their ankle bracelet around a foot. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But they can look at that and say, hey, look, I had a part in creating that. That was my idea. And I want to bring that I want everybody to be able to say something like that and have that feeling, because that's an incredible feeling to be able to tell your friends, hey, I helped create that.
We have a question. I know you want to answer this, Mike. Nixel asks, are there stats for the Overlord?
Yep. I just saw the first copy yesterday. So we have the lore getting rewritten by a wonderful writer who I couldn't believe that she even wrote this good. And then the stats are being made by her DM. So I asked a couple of people and they haven't gotten to it because they're busy, obviously. But the stats I've seen so far are pretty amazing. And he's going to be a big pain in the ass.
That's awesome. And you staged him too.
To see something like that come to life.
You staged him too, right? Like at different levels.
Yep, he'll have progressive stats. He'll start at 10 and he'll be 10, 15, and 20. I wanted to say level 5, but for me, level 5, the only thing that's going to be level 5 with the Overgord are his minions, and I'll give you guys a little hint. How many seeds that pumpkins have. So be careful when you're fighting the Overgord, because if any of those things spill out and you don't collect those things up, oh yeah.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Oh yeah. You will start an epidemic very quickly. And we don't want that, because he's connected to all of these other little Overgords.
So Mike, you gave me a flashback, and Bill will remember too. If you ever played World of Warcraft and you had to go up to the one place, remember every Halloween you had it. What was it, Bill?
Headless Horseman.
The Headless Horseman scenario in World of Warcraft. Every Halloween he appeared as he's like eternal, which is really a cool thing with the Overgord too.
That's what I wanted. I wanted a murderous psycho that somebody could plant into their games every Halloween. And I'm sorry, you just can't. He doesn't go away. He's like Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, all wrapped into one big goofy orange orb with 10 jack-o'-lanterns for his buddies, and he's out to get you. Let me tell you, in this new lore that my friend has written up, it's terrifying. It's not cute. It's not lovey-dovey. It's horror. It's straight up horror. And when
are we going to be able to see the new lore, Mike?
As soon as it's tightened up, I'll let you know. As soon as she gives me the okay to say, okay, you can release it, I will release it, because it's bone chilling. And she has painted a scene that really brings him to life. And I actually want to do like a little graphic novel, just a little couple of panels to illustrate the story. And hopefully Zambies will help me out with that. We were talking about that last night too. So we might have just a little story, visual story of the Overgord lore as well. So we're looking into that.
Gonna be super exciting. This is from earlier. I found it finally. Here is a picture of the fog events that we did with the water terrain. All right, there we go. All right, so all that is done here on this one is, and that's Miniature Building Authority's Harbor Town. I've taken the fire, the ones that have a lot less black in them, and I have actually, these lights are just behind them. That's it. And it's just a camera angle. These are all placed right behind him, about 6 or 7 of them. All, it's on the same timer, one press, boom, and I can turn that on, and that's how I got the effect for the fog. All right, in that adventure. So I finally found that pick, and I wanted to share that with everyone there as well. Another cool effect. Yes, we'll talk Thunder. Yes, we can talk about that. We'll do that one next. Here, Bill, why don't you talk about how you the mod on this one? Because this is a new Medwin. This is a new first level, second level adventuring character. One of your most shit. I wish it would. There we go. Trying to get.
That's right. It's in the scroller.
It's in the scroller too. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's not a Reaper miniature, unfortunately. But that's a Dark Sword miniature. It's another company that normally is at ReaperCon, and normally they're out there as well. And it was a pretty simple mod. It's a spellcaster who prefers flame spells, and it's the flame is actually cut off of another competitor, a Whiz Kids Beholder. That's where the flame came from. And the skull is out of that famous box of skulls. It's just a raven skull I added to the top of the staff. And it's these are little simple modifications. Up in the scroller now is another miniature. That's for, they call me Tim's Dwarf. And it had, that's a Reaper Deep Gnome Warrior, I believe, or Gnome Warrior.
Yeah, that one's, I got him here too. Let me see, that's got a mod on the back too.
And that was just taking the lantern off, and he wanted to have a hammer and a pick.
It's me.
And just added the Warhammer head. It's pinned in place. And there's simple little mods that, with a little time and patience, especially with Bones miniatures that are easy to work with, you can make some nice changes.
This has got a nice Rivalcraft piece on the front there. That's in the picture there. See, very nice little flower on this character. So, just right on the base. All right, we had some questions, Mike, on face paint. Actually getting the details on the face, probably the most difficult spot. What can you help with that?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're talking about with the details on the face. Are you talking about just getting your facial features,
yes,
like the skin tones, or are you talking about getting face paint on?
Face, like, eyes, how the detail, how the practice and
that is the thing right there. That is the key word, is practice. That is 100% where it lies. The body is made up. We are made up of several different colors, and we come in all kinds of colors, and we have blemishes and everything, and it's up to you on how deep you want to go into your details. But just the most important part when doing faces on miniatures is remembering where your shadows lie and where your highlights lie. So the best thing to do is start looking at people's faces. Just start looking, examining when people are looking at different things, when they're standing under lights, when they're sitting down and a lamp is off to their side over here. This is what we look at. We look at where shadows are and where our highlights are, and we take them and we apply them to our miniature. And that's pretty much it. Remember, a big thing about getting the paint to not looking all nasty on miniature faces, because they're so tiny and have a lot of different surfaces raised and ups and downs, is to make sure that your paint is properly thinned as well. And in between each coat, let it dry. If you're not wet blending, of course, let it dry, because if your paint rips on the face, it's going to show up way more than anywhere else on the miniature, because it's so tiny on the face, and then when you put your glaze or your wash in there, that it sinks into the tears of the paint, and it just looks horrible and your face is ruined. So the main important thing about painting faces and eyes is being patient, waiting for your paint to dry, having your paint thinned properly, and knowing where your lights and your shadows are. Study Study. If you want your miniatures to look good, take the time and look at reference. Look at painting miniatures is not a speed process. And if you see all these other people that you're watching painting miniatures and they're getting great results in little time, it's because they've been doing it for a minute. And I know you hear people that like to, that have only been painting for a short time, but they paint all the time. In that short time they've been painting, they paint a lot because they have the time to do it. So remember to be patient. Breathe is another thing. When you're going to make a line, just like a sniper, they teach you in sniper school class. Yeah, there you go. They teach you when you put that in your front sight alignment, you breathe in, exhale, and take a shot. Because when you exhale, you're at your steadiest. You have nothing built up inside of you making you tremble. You're calm. And when you want to do your eyes, that's what you want to do. You want to remember, breathe in, exhale, and then do your eyes, baby. And you will practice it first. Practice on paper, plastic card, anything. You've got all your bits laying around. You can paint little details on anything. Practice your stuff, but that's the main important thing. Patience, thinning your paints properly, knowing your lights and your shadows, and studying your references.
So Jacob Jansen, Jeff is on. Jeff, good to see you, man. Great to see you.
Hey, Jeff.
Jeff, great to see you on, man. It's good to see you. Having some fun here talking about crafting with minis and modding and some terrain talk and just some fun time with Mike and Bill. Hopefully you are well and things are going great and you're enjoying this nice Labor Day weekend. Really cool to see you.
Yeah, Thunder Bay, brushes to use on the face, and a lot of other painters will stick by me on this. You can use shit brushes and nasty brushes pretty much on anything else, on wide surfaces. But when you're doing fine details like face and eyes, you want to use your expensive brushes. You want to use your Kolinsky Sables. You want to use a brush that has a point on it like a pencil and keeps that point. It's got a good snap. And these are the brushes that you take care of all your brushes, because brushes are not cheap. But these are brushes that you use. This is why you see people spending so much money on brushes, because they want to be able to not have to fight with the brush to get those details in. And there is a difference when using sables and finer brushes, because the brush is able to hold more paint. You're able to get a finer line and detail. It's there. You can see it. It's a noticeable difference. So one brush that I like to use a lot of is Reaper has Kolinsky's. And you have to look at them. They're the Sable brushes. They're the most expensive brushes that they have, but they are worth it. They are worth it. You take care of those brushes, get some brush soap masters, or you can go over to Monument Paint. Jen, Jason's wife, she has Jen's brush soap, magic soap. It's amazing. It's great for repairing your brushes too. So I'd suggest that when you're doing your faces, anything with fine detail, make sure you're using your really good brushes and they have a very nice point on them.
Paul John's life just said he assumed your brushes were made from that beard.
Oh, well, he's just flirting. So Jacob Jansen, how you doing, brother?
Got a Tim head for that. So Bill, what about with you with faces? I know that's a tough one, man. It's a challenge.
Faces are tough. I mean, it's really, I'm going to say up until the last batch of miniatures I've done for our newest group, my faces have been poor at best. Eyes are tough, and there are great tutorials on there. Watch them, but just do them. Faces, you got to practice. It's over and over and over. And like Mike said, thin your paints. If you're not sure, after your base coats too, especially for a beginning painter, like faces, mine are tough. Don't be afraid to use a wash. to re-highlight details, especially if you're doing eyes, because you do a base coat on there, do a light wash. It'll put a nice dark ring in the recesses of the eyes, and it'll be a lot easier for you to pick it up. You can clean up around it. Don't be afraid to clean up. I mean, it's paint. Keep the paint thin.
That's it.
And go over it again.
That's it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That's right.
And if all else fails, a little bit of stripper and clean it off and start over again.
That's it.
Toothbrush and acetone can be your friend.
Nixel asks about magnification for us old guys. Do you guys have any magnification tricks? Here we go. Good question.
Well, yeah, you get a headset.
That's
for a light. That's it. There's no tricks about it. It's maybe an Amazon search trick, but that's it. No trick. Get some extra help for them old eyes, Nixel.
Yeah,
I'm doing fine, Jacob. Thank you very much. And to go back to eyes too, it is all practice. And there's some people that don't even paint eyes. Like there's several miniatures I have not painted eyes in because honestly, when you're looking at a person from that distance, that is the size of a miniature, are you telling me you're going to be able to see that person's eyes? Because I'm going to say that you're full of crap unless you're looking through a sniper's periscope or whatever, unless you got them zoned in the crosshairs, you're not seeing that person's eyes from that far away. I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? So
most 40K painters, when you look at it, they never paint the eyes. There's a wash over the eyes to show detail, and that's it.
That's it. And I've done that several times honestly, for my tabletop commissions, I don't paint eyes. That's exactly what I do. I shade in the eyes and bloop, go right over it. Unless it's a bigger model where you've got to paint the eyes or it just, but yeah, that's it. And when you paint your eyes, you should always use an off white. You should never use a stark white because your eyes aren't white. They're a lot of us got bloodshot eyes. So, you know what I mean? It's they're not white. They're like an off gray. Like a good color to use from Reaper is that linen white because it's a little
linen white.
Yep. Like a very light gray is a really good color. As long as it's close to white, but not really white. It's got to be like a grayish color. The white you use for the reflection. If you want to put a reflection in the eye, you use a white dot for the reflection, and that's what makes it pop.
And from Nightheart's will be lurking, and thank you so very much. I mean, I know Frank is so swamped with doing a lot of production work for ReaperCon Live Online. And it's just an honor for all of us to be a part of this. We're having a blast here, but thank you.
A good one for eyes too. If you guys are out there, Graveyard Bone is another one. It's a real nice light gray.
Oh yeah.
So getting back to the body, you have to give Reaper credit. I mean, Reaper came out with drow nipple color. I mean, my gosh, the detail just recently. So like they have like a lot of different, colors that are perfect for body parts, eyes, skin tones. Just amazing on the depths of the dark skin tones. Do you want to talk about the 3D print stuff you guys used? How's the durability? Choosing resin in the light. Thunder. I'm a novice, but I have one answer. No, for terrain, no resin printers, standard printers. Bill, why don't you take that one? Do you want to talk about the 3D printer stuff you use? How's the durability? Extreme.
My 3D printing experience is very limited, so we'll state that first. Resin is expensive. PLA is not so much. So, I mean, if you're printing terrain, I would definitely go PLA printers just because the cost is lower. Most of the bed sizes are bigger, and they're less expensive printers for bigger beds. But like I said, I have very limited experience with it, but so far that's mine. But Mike prints resin, but resin's not cheap.
No, resin is not cheap. It's about $35 to $40 for about 1,000 milligrams. So it's not cheap, and printing takes a long time on the printer. So it's an extensive project. It's definitely, if somebody's going to pick it up, you're not going to go into it lightheartedly, just being, I'm going to do 3D printing. Nope. You ain't going to be doing 3D printing for long with that attitude.
No, because it's not the printers are not foolproof. You get fails regularly. It happens.
Yeah. Yep.
We've had some. In fact, Bill had one, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this is unbelievable. One of these roads, it's the one to the right, the far right-hand corner. Bill, what happened with that one in the far right-hand corner? Did you
Well,
actually?
it never finished printing the tops of the rocks and the trees.
Oh,
It
I can
just
see that.
They're real
Yeah.
trees he put in.
I ended up, yep, searching the yard, going in the flower bed, getting real stones and real twigs and finished them up. But the other thing that's good about that, sometimes it's a happy accident, or it also changed up the terrain. So rather having 3 identical pieces of road terrain, well, now the patterns are slightly different. So it's a happy accident when they happen sometimes. But when you're printing miniatures, you don't want a failure, because then it's scrapped.
It's
And
scrap.
that resin is lost.
Well, honestly, it's not really scrap because you can use those like I really don't throw a lot of the stuff away, because what if you want to use those, break them up and use them for like a Medusa's
Bodies.
layer
That's a good
for
idea.
broken statues in a Medusa's layer, or just statues from an altar, or body parts,
Yep,
or
there you go.
there's
Perfect.
so many things that you can use failed prints for. Just don't throw them away. Some of them you have to. Some of them it's just not, they look ridiculous. But yeah, there's always uses. I try not to throw anything away. Anything.
So I'm
No,
I'm put.
mean, I have Chinese food takeout containers filled with weapons and bits and arms and legs and.
So, Nixel, this will go to both of you as we're winding down. Hey, we're going to run a little bit late because everyone's enjoying themselves. If you have to go, if you have a class or something, or Reaper has something going on in there, it's no problem. But since we're on this channel here, we're going to run a little bit late. Is that okay, Mike? Sound
Yeah,
good?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm having a blast. It's always a pleasure being here, Jay. So
Thank you. I really we love having you here, Mike. What materials do you use to repair terrain failures? Bondo, plastic, weld, and this can count for miniatures too. So, Mike, what do you use? Green, what's it called?
green stuff, or
Green.
Neatite. It's in a
Okay.
2-part epoxy. It's blue and yellow. You put it together, it makes green. And that's what I use pretty much. It depends on the level of damage and repair that you have to do. If it's too messed up, you either have to sculpt from scratch to repair it, or you chuck it and reprint. But if it's just a mild repair, little bit of sanding, little bit of PVA glue, or not PVA glue, but Zap-A-Gap and boopity boop. If it's plastic, then of course you use plastic cement. I use Tamiya plastic cement, because the thick and the extra thin, because it melds the plastic together, and you're not going to have any failures then. A lot of people, I see them, they're like, oh, I can't glue this glue isn't working on my plastic. Well, it's probably because you're using super glue on plastic. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. You have to use plastic glue on plastic. And that's the biggest thing right there. I see that a lot of new people, and even people have been in the hobby for a while, it's surprising, because you can get it to stick, but it ain't gonna stay for long. So
I just had a flashback moment, Mike, when I was a kid, like in the '80s, and I remember, what are these paints? These Tamiyas. Remember they came out then? Like usually the hobby stores only had testers, right? And then the Tamiya paints came out, and they were super expensive, and they couldn't afford them. We're like, oh my gosh! So I'm assuming it's the same company.
Yeah, yep, it absolutely is. Tamiya has been around for a long time, and they're incredible products. Like, I use their stuff solely for like blood effects, and their clears are amazing. Their smoke is amazing. They've got they really do have some great products. Jacob, take care, man.
Yeah, Jeff, great to see you, Jeff. All right, so Bill, what are you using for terrain repair?
Terrain repair, it's always for me is new stuff. I'm always learning new things. A lot of terrain repair, I'll use just regular house joint compound or plaster of Paris.
Okay.
If I'm using house joint compound, I'll mix a little bit of sand and PVA glue in it, just so it's a little more elastic and doesn't dry out and crack as much. but it really depends on what you're doing, and depends on what you're repairing. You're repairing resin pieces, baking soda or baking powder, and super glue.
We're not done.
And that's a great way of doing it, because once that starts to harden, it's sandable and everything else. It's basically concrete. What's going on, young man?
Yes, he's like, you guys are going to be done soon, right? No, we'll be done. Yeah, because he's got his PC next to us here. So yeah, we're going to do the drawing shortly. Okay. So we don't want people who are hanging around who have other things they have to go to. So we will definitely do that within like 5 minutes. We'll do both drawings. We had another question. Thunder, do people use heat to adjust pieces? Is that a thing?
Yep, all the time.
Yep,
Reaper
absolutely.
miniatures. Yep, the bones miniatures. I boil water and stick the bent piece into the water for a couple
That's
of
what
seconds.
I've been doing this morning.
Yep, and then bend
Full
that
bowl and a thermos of
sucker.
hot water.
Yep, bend that sucker right back to where it's supposed to be, and then run it under really, really cold water, and bam, there you go. Heat to repair your miniatures easily, and it works like a charm. In fact, here's a sample of one I just did, actually using those very methods. The wings on this thing are usually like really flat and out, so I used heat to make them stand out a little bit further, and the sword was bent really bad at the tip, and I used heat to bend the tip of the sword back. It was like it was hooked, so I used the heat to bend that back.
Does that mean you need to keep minis away from a sunny window? I'd say probably yes.
No, not really. Not unless it's like beaming and right on it. I've got minis sitting right there.
Don't leave Bones minis in a hot car sealed up.
Or 3D prints in a hot car.
Or resin, PLA.
Any of them.
Because you will come back and they'll all be kinds of different shapes.
But that's common sense. You don't leave anything in a hot car packaged up. You don't do that. You leave electronics. That's just common sense. Use common sense, people.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. So this has been like this. These 2 hours have flown by.
Flown by real quick. We're talking about good stuff. So, we're answering all the questions. We're excited. There's a lot of good. It's ReaperCon. Happy ReaperCon, everybody.
Here's another question from Strange. I'm painting a mini for Lost Mines of Phandelver, the Red Cloak Wizard glass staff. Do any of you have pointers on how to paint a staff to look like glass?
Yeah, white, line it with blue, go in there and paint it white. And then just first off, reference again, look up pictures of glass staffs and then go from there. Look at it, study it, take 15 minutes to study it, leave it up while you're painting it and copy it. Literally copy it. You don't have to sculpt it. You don't have to draw it. All you gotta do is paint the colors that you see in front of your face and apply it to your canvas.
Excellent.
Washes are wonderful things.
Washes.
And people are intimidated by washes. Wash it. You can paint over it. It's thin. It's not a big deal. And experiment with washes too. If you're making glass, and especially if it's reflective, you're going to have different colors that are going to go through it. So maybe you're not going to have all blues. You could use greens in spots. You could use purples in there. Take your time. Just practice it. Find old minis or bits that you're not using and experiment on them before you move on to it too. Try it somewhere else first.
Experimentation seems to be the great answer here. Is that please, just try things. If they don't work, I mean, that's the great thing about Reaper Bones. You got an inexpensive mini. You got these large sculpts, and one thing I want to stress: that Thursday night game that we did, every single piece, except for our player characters, all the frost giants and all the monsters on this one here, they're all Bones figures, all of them, right? That you know,
Absolutely.
it kept the cost down. PCs we
I'll
like.
say this:
Good.
before we got our sponsorship, we were mini snobs. We wanted all miniatures.
We went all metal, yeah.
And I have since come around with the quality of the new Bones material, the Bones Black material. I love the Bones stuff now because it's so much easier to work with too. If you want to make modifications, cleaning them up is easy. You wash them and a razor knife, you can get the flash lines off in a short amount of time because most of them are in good shape now. It's not like old days where there's a lot of flashing. Mold lines are minimal. There's not a lot of flashing. They're easy to clean up. So really, if you haven't experimented with them, buy a couple and check them out. Try the bigger miniatures too. They're they're a little more expensive, but they're great for working on techniques. Mike, I remember him. I was listening to him 1 or 2 Fridays ago, and he was talking about painting the frost giants on his Frost Giant Friday. And he said how much you like working on the bigger minis sometimes because you can experiment. The details are larger. You can try new things. Give it a try. Can't hurt.
That's right. That's right. It's only paint. You can paint over it.
Question from Nixel about flying miniatures. There is and it's downstairs. Casey Brown actually got it for me, but they have those. They almost look like columns, clear columns. You remember the name of that set, Bill? For flying miniatures, you can actually elevate them.
Faces, no, but I don't remember the name.
Nixel, I'll whisper it to you, but I have the box downstairs. It's right behind me on Thursday night, so maybe you'll even see it. But it actually has elevations for flying miniatures. So that's the best way to do them, and to have them out there. I promise you, I will whisper you that information on the flyings, and it works very well. But I just can't remember the name of the box set, and it comes with all different sizes of stacks, so you can do your flying miniatures. Heat guns or soldering irons, things you ever use? Are those tools for this sort of thing, or stay away?
I mean, it all depends on what you want to use them for.
Yeah.
Isn't Proxxon isn't that heated? The Proxxon cutter?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a wire saw. That's
exactly.
Okay.
Yes, I use all those, but you have to use them for the right things. Heat guns, you can permanently ruin figures very quickly. If you're just trying to straighten weapons or do slight modifications, boil hot water.
Yeah.
Mike's already said it. It's the safest way to do it.
Easiest
way to do it. Now, if you're working with large miniatures and you want to do battle damage on armor and shields, wood carving tools, wood burning tools are good because you can get really fine points, that kind of stuff. But it's the same thing. Start small. Don't go crazy. You can use a lighter and X-Acto knife to heat the tip up a little bit to do battle damage on armor. Using drill bits and stuff. You don't need a lot of expensive tools. You can do a lot with inexpensive stuff before investing in more expensive equipment.
So we're going to give away 2 Mike Disney signed Overgored prints right now. All right, one is for our subscriber list, and one is for everyone who's generally signed up. All righty. So I actually need to use percentile dice now on the subscriber list. That's a good thing, right? So
Jay, where is your Overgored at?
Down. Oh, it's in the case. It's in the case.
Right
it's on our figure case.
It's in the figure case near your figures. Oh yeah.
It's in the background of your figure case.
It's in the figure case near your figures. Yeah, I have it in here. Here it is. I have it on your list here. It's customized. There you go. You customized the signature for me, and there it is.
Oh, okay. So that's on your figure case.
It's in the figure case.
Yeah, right on the shelf.
Right on the shelf, right?
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. It is right there. Nice. This up here is just my computer work office room. It's downstairs with the figures where it belongs down there.
Oh, so you've got it framed in downstairs on your
yeah, in the case.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, you gotta send me a picture of that. I'd like to, because I haven't seen where everybody keeps their Overgourds.
No
I know Jeff has his framed real big downstairs on one of his shelves right there. I think it's right by his miniature case too. And
Mike, you're right next to me. I look to the left, and you're here on the wall.
oh man, you guys are amazing, man. That's what I love right there.
I would move the camera, but you want to see my work desk.
Well, you don't want to see mine. I mean, look at that. That's a desk of doom right there. You know, I mean, we've got it all. That's
a working man's desk.
That is a working man's desk right there. That's for sure.
Thunder asks a funny question. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Have either of you guys incorporated runic actions or writings into a terrain piece? So the answer is yes. And here's a kind of disturbingly funny story. We got these the dental plaster ruins that Len Kafka sent me from a Kickstarter. Bill did them all up, and I said, "Hey, as a little homage to Leonard, why don't you put Liam was here on one of the terrain pieces?" And Bill did it all, and you can see it. We still have it. We show it a lot, and we told Len wasn't amused at all. He did
not like that.
I was like, oh my gosh. So
why didn't he like it? Why? I don't get it.
Because
Liam would not have done that.
Yeah, Liam would not have defaced even a ruin. Yeah. So. All right. So
that was early in our relationship. With Liam.
Yeah, it was funny though. Incorporated runic actions or writings, and then we're gonna do this drawing here. Anything pretty cool runic wise?
I mean, I've carved stuff into ruins, but nothing that would stand out.
I mean, Mike hand did that one major piece he saw. That was all hand drawn. You want to talk about runic and designs on the back of your banner on your Warhammer piece? That's all hand drawn. I mean, that would qualify, I'd say.
Yeah, I do a lot of that actually. I've done, like, these aren't ruins, but on this piece actually is all. This is a collector's piece. All that freehand on his helmet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, the two in the embrace.
Yeah. Is it focused?
There it goes. Yeah, now it's focused. Oh, wow. You did all that? Wow.
Yeah, that's all freehand on the helmet. So, but I've done ruins on several things. Carved them in and made them part of bases, painted them on bases. It's always good to do little glowy ruins and stuff like that. Instantly adds the fantasy element. Instantly.
All right, I'm going to drop in my percentile dice. Of course, close people involved in the Lord Gazama channel are not eligible for this giveaway, but here we go. All righty. See, the subscriber doesn't need to be on for this. Going to roll it up right here. Then I'm going to take my glasses off so I can actually read the numbers. They're such small print. Here's our list of subs. So here goes the subscriber giveaway for the Mike Disney Overgord, and then I'll close out the other one. So I saw them on early. XL809, you are the winner. Number 70 was the roll. XL809. Now, you were one of the first people on today. So if he's still on, great, but it doesn't need to be on for the subscribers. He's still on the list. So there you go. XL is the winner of the XL. If I don't have your address, I don't think I do. Just I may, but just whisper it to me again. All right. So I'm going to close this out. Last call for any signups for the Mike Disney Overgord for the general drawing for everyone eligible. So that'll be the second one we're going to give out here. Just hopefully you're on for this. Alrighty, I'm going to close it out. Last call. Anyone else want to sign up for it? We got a lot of signups.
Ooh, good.
Oh, we got a lot of signups.
That's what I like to see.
We had a record. Thursday night's giveaways was a record. That was unbelievable. It was also some other records for unique viewers and stuff. It was fantastic. If we hadn't crashed in the middle, I think we would have had a record average for show. Yeah, I know XL is he's showing in the list, which means he may be lurking away, which is fine here. All right, let me close this out here. Close out the giveaway here through Streamlabs, and we're going to close the entries. And let's see who wins this. Please say if you're on. I'll check in the list too. The winner is... I can't even pronounce Ishan Loki. Ishan Loki is the winner. Let's see. Is Ishan Loki on? It
Congratulations.
looks like that individual is on. Ishan Loki is in the list still. So Ishan
Speak
Loki,
up.
I will need your showing viewing. I will need your address. Okay, so yes, you did. There you go. You won.
You won.
You
You won.
won. Congratulations. Please just whisper me your address, name and address, and I will send that right out to you. So, oh no, this is great. We're gonna do some shout outs real quick. I know a lot of people may have to go to other events. We didn't want to hold you up too late. So, Mike, what is going on in your world? What do you got going? What do you got cracking?
Yeah, lots of stuff. Like I said, I've got Zambies and I are working on our coloring book. Obviously, now that ReaperCon is going to be coming to an end this weekend, unfortunately, we're going to be cracking down on getting our coloring book / art book out there. Lots of ZBrush training and ZBrush sculpting, and we're gonna have that Asian style dragon monastery environment for people to paint up here pretty soon, hopefully within the next month. We've got the Create a Creature going on the stream, and this month is also my birthday and Twitch 3 years on Twitch celebration.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff for that as well. And the Overgord stats, as soon as the person gets the rest of them to me, they will be out, Thunder Bay. But yeah, we've got that going on. And then October 4th, of course, hopefully, we'll do something special for the Overgord's birthday. So, because he will be 1 year old. So,
and that's a Sunday. So October 2nd, Mike Disney will be painting that miniature Holly from the Dark Brotherhood from the Lord Gazumba campaign up, finishing it up on stream. Mike is the first highlighted stream of Virtual Greyhawk Con. Friday morning, October 2nd, 9 a.m. ED or EST at that point. I don't know if it's EST or EDT at that point. So, will be, we have a whole bunch of highlighted streams. I just linked Virtual Greyhawk Con in. The registration fee is $3.12. That was the lowest we could do to use Tabletop Events site. So, but all tickets and all games and all events are free, and any extra money that's left over will all go to St. Jude, so it's not for profit. And there's our Discord server as well. So, Mike, it's a pleasure. Mike is a sponsor of Virtual Greyhawk Con as well. If you look on the sponsors page, all the streams are right on the community link. There's a lot of connections. You just press on a slither, and I'll take it right to the Twitch channel. We'll try to make it as easy as possible. So, Mike, I'm excited about that, and thank you so very much for being here.
Oh, my. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, Jay. Thank you very much.
It's been a great and informative discussion. Bill, what do you got going on?
I mean, I'm just continuing to 3D print, and make things. I mean, just while we were sitting here, like I said, modding miniatures is not hard. Give it a try. Today, while we were sitting here, I took these two minis and switched their weapons. So let me
nice.
The fire giant had the sword, and I switched him over to the axe and added a 3D printed shield to the frost giant and switched him to the sword. So there was no special tools here. I mean, it was a drill bit, some clippers, and a razor knife, and some super glue.
Mm-hmm.
So
it looks amazing.
Don't be afraid to try it.
Looks amazing.
It's not hard, and then you can make the same miniature look different. So we already have this frost giant. Now it looks different because he's got a sword and a shield.
And Bill also will be on the next Lord Gazumba channel RPG game project. We got a lot of new figures that have come, and that Bill will be painting for my Virtual Greyhawk Con Greyhawk All-Stars game Saturday. It's the main event Saturday night, 7 p.m. EDT or EST.
What am I painting?
Yeah. I will have Luke Gygax, Eric Mona, Anna Meyer, Stephen Chenault, the owner of Troller Games, and a lot of other great people in that All-Star game. I'll be DMing for them that night. I'm so excited, and it's going to be a really cool little spin to that game. So awesome, Bill. Thank you for everything you do here, and I know we have a blast doing it. So tomorrow night, back to our regular schedule. Tomorrow night, Gabbin 108 Judge Greg. What a great name. What a great name. Thank you very much. So tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m., special guest Jason Bullman. If you do not know who Jason Bullman is basically is the creative designer of the Pathfinder campaign setting right now. He works for Paizo. Jason Bullman, though, in the 90s and 2000s early, did a lot of work for the Living Greyhawk campaign, has a lot over Expeditions to the Ruins of Greyhawk, Paizo Hawk era. We're going to talk to him about all his experiences during that time tomorrow night at 7:30. Anna Meyer, Leonard Lakofka always will hop on. Gary Julian and Casey Brown will be joining me to ask him some questions. And we just surpassed 3,000 followers on Thursday night's ReaperCon live event. Every 1,000 followers, I always give away my favorite of all time reference for that you can get a lot of information out. I'll be giving this Best of the Dragon Volume 3 out tomorrow night for it. Just love this, all the data that comes inside this. So we'll give this out tomorrow night on that show. And then later in the week, I still don't know what we're doing next Thursday because I've been so concentrating on this. And then Wednesday night, we have Legends and Lore episode 65. We will go over the never published but available Ivid the Undying reference about the Great Kingdom. We'll do a lot of discussion on this. Myself, Greyhawk, Mike Bridges, and Anna Meyer. Ivid the Undying was a Carl Sargent that made it into the Dragon magazine, parts of it, but never made it to full print. But it is available if you know where to look. And it is according to Anna says it's the best reference ever made for the Greyhawk setting. So, an awesome one, and we've had a demand for that. And we have a lot of other great guests coming in this month of September leading up to Greyhawk Con. But I won't bore you with anything else. On our normal games this Thursday coming up, I'm not even sure what group we're using. So that tells you how much I prepared for that. All right, so congrats on the winners. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Bill, for coming on. What a fantastic show. I'm so glad that we got to do this. And now I'm bright and wide awake here. And now we have the rest of the weekend to celebrate the Labor Day weekend. See you tomorrow night. We're going to raid into Reaper now. Hopefully I can do this properly. They got some... I've never raided into Reaper because I've never been on when Reaper has been on. That's the crazy thing. Not once. So this will be cool to do. Let me set that up, and then we'll go to an exit screen here, getting them all ready to go.
And I'll tell you guys, follow Mike's Patreon. If you don't follow, if you're looking for a Patreon, Mike puts great stuff on there. He always sends out goodies to his Patreon supporters. His videos are great. And give him a subscribe on Twitch. Mike's got a great show. It's worth watching. It's very entertaining. He puts a lot of content out there for people.
And he's on a lot. You're on a lot too, which is great. You can catch Mike almost every morning.
When he's not on, I'm lonely in the car.
And look, even the ever mysterious Tim says you're great, Mike, and that's a compliment coming from him.
I love you guys, and you have no idea. We've talked about the community before in this channel, and I want you guys to know that you really mean a lot to me, and I have a huge love for each and every one of you people that contribute to this community, that are just here. That means lurking in channels, interacting with others, stirring that pot of inspiration and getting people going. That's what it's all about. And channels like this in mind, that we like to push that creativity and positivity out there. It's really what this community is all about. And I can't thank you guys enough for all your support and your kind words. And it really just, it pushes me to make it better, do better, and do more. So thank you guys again. It really does mean a lot. Thank you for having me on the show. It was an honor, as always, Jay. 40 years of D&D campaign. It's really, as passionate as I am, I owe everything to Gary Gygax. So it's a absolute privilege and honor for me to be a part of this. So thank you.
What a great time. We're going to raid into Reaper. Sit tight. Hopefully I don't hit the wrong button here. like I always do. But enjoy the last 3. You got 3 days left of ReaperCon. All today, Sunday, Monday. See you Sunday night for a great discussion if you're interested in Jason Bowman. And I hope to see you all again soon. And enjoy the weekend. Have
You
a good one,
got it.
guys.
Take care,
Have a
guys.
good one.
Raid setting up.
Woot woot.
Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Starting it up. Good number. Okay. Alrighty. 10 seconds, we'll hop in. Have a good one. See everyone soon.
Oh, good show.
That was awesome.
That was a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Just the more you can get, because when you're sitting there
For sure. Well, hey guys, I have got to go to the bathroom. I've been holding it for a
Mike,
minute.
thank you. Hope you have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Hey, thank you guys for having me again, man. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for the plug at the end there too, Sasha. That was very nice of you, Bill.
No, Mike, like I said, I love what you do on your show, and I enjoy it. It keeps me company all day, you know, when you're on. So
I greatly appreciate that.
and it's a lot of
means
fun to listen to.
We do have some fun, that's for sure. But Jay, if you need anything, if either one of you guys need anything, let me know. I'll send you periodic updates of your homegirl there, and she's gonna look positively sassy and
sometimes I might have